The fans are ready. More than 55,000 showed up yesterday. There'll be that number or more here today. Because for the Twins, after 7 months of baseball, it comes down to one game. If their season is going to be extended, they must beat the Yankees now. Were they too old? Was the desire still there? Or were the Twins simply the better team? These questions surrounded the Yankees after a 3-1 loss in Game 1. The pressure was on. In Games 2 and 3, the questions were answered. Answered by the one constant force that has carried them through a decade of wins. Pitching. Yesterday, the Rocket proved his magnificent run is not ready to end. Today, it's David Wells' turn to take on a Twins team that must win. For Minnesota, time is running out. ESPN's coverage of the Division Series continues. Welcome everybody inside the Metrodome here in Minneapolis. We are ready to go in a vital Game 4. The Yankees have a chance to wrap up this series as they take on the Minnesota Twins here in Minneapolis. Great to have you with us, everybody. This is one of those must-win games. There aren't many in sports, but you finally get to them and it matters. With Jeff Brantley, David Justice, I'm Gary Thorne. David, for the Minnesota Twins, a 179 batting average in this series. Where have the bats gone?
Well, there's two things I feel in order for them to be successful today, they must do. First, be aggressive early in your at-bats. David Wells doesn't walk anyone, so you're going to get a pitch to hit in that first pitch or that second pitch. The second thing they must do is utilize your team's speed. Mix in a few bunts, concentrate, really focus on hitting hard ground balls and hitting line drives. If they do those two things, I think they have a better chance today.
So if they can get the bats going, that'll be one part of it. Jeff Brantley, the other side is a youngster, Johan Santana, is going to make just his second postseason start.
Well, the first postseason start, he came out in the fourth inning with some cramps in his right hamstring, which is his land leg. I don't care if he's got to wrap it up, rub it out, whatever he's got to do. He's got to get out there. It's playoff time. They lose here, they go home.
That's what's at issue here today. You can hear this crowd. Boy, are they ripped and ready to go. David Wells, fourth oldest pitcher ever to start a postseason game, goes on the mound against the youngster Santana. Ready to go, and so are we. When we come back, first pitch, Division Series. Will the Yankees move on, or will it be the Twins sending it to a Game 5? Well, no one can say the fans aren't ready to whip this into a frenzy. If the Twins can get those bats going, the roof will come off the dome, but it won't be easy. The veteran starters out there for the Yankees, Dave Ryan.
All right, Gary, thanks so much. And what an atmosphere on the field here for this Game 4 today. David Wells certainly feels very comfortable going head-to-head with the Twins, that he can shut out Minnesota and end this series today and end this round of the playoffs. For good reason. Head-to-head, he's been incredible with Minnesota. Going back to May 17th of '98, his perfect game, the 14th in big league history. A moment he'll never forget. And a memory of that career highlight certainly gives him confidence today. David Wells' strength is keeping hitters off balance, and the Yanks like this matchup since the Twins are such aggressive hitters. He has incredible control, less than 1 walk per game. And guys, don't forget, even if Wells does fail today, Mike Mussina is already en route to New York for Game 5 tomorrow if necessary.
And Dave, thanks very much. There is Joe Torre. Every season with the Yankees has been to the postseason. Yankees trying to move on to chase yet another American League pennant. They can get the victory here and head on to the ALCS. Our Bristol Myers squib lineup for the Yankees. Really only one change. That's at the bottom as they flip Rivera and Johnson. Nick Johnson's got a cold bat going. He's been moved to the 9th spot. Otherwise, Matsui, the home run yesterday. Williams, good series. They're getting it done. And this lineup will try and get it done today against the young left-hander Johan Santana.
Santana having that land leg problem. It's going to be very important for him to get on that slider and get it down in the strike zone. We know what happens with the Yankee hitters when you pitch up in the strike zone.
Take a look at the defense behind him. Stewart, Hunter, and Jones in the outfield. Infield, the usual. Koski, Kuzma, Rivas, Vankevich. Brzezinski's doing the catching for Santana. They form the battery for the Minnesota Twins. Gary Darling is the home plate umpire. Tim Welke, Greg Gibson, Randy Marsh, who's the crew chief, Eric Cooper, and Wally Bell. David Justice, how about our home plate umpire today, Gary Darling? We talk about the impact that can have on pitchers.
Well, I'm sure Brantley used to love throwing to Gary Darling. Has always been a pitcher's umpire, if you ask me.
There you go.
We are underway. Strike taken on the inside corner. Soriano.
And it looks like Santana's going to go with the same approach they had yesterday against Soriano. They tried to pound him inside, and they had some success yesterday doing that.
Soriano, that one again is inside, up a little bit. He's gone 5 for 14 in the series so far.
And the Yankees going to attempt to do what they did yesterday, jump ahead early and try to get this crowd out of it. But I don't think they're going to be able to get them out of it today. The crowd already senses that there's some urgency and they need a victory today.
Santana's delivery bounces off the glove. It'll be up high. And a 1-ball 2-strike count on the leadoff batter. What an important start after going against the Yankees in this postseason. Had to come out with that hamstring problem. Twins will keep a close eye on that. It's the right leg. Nasty pitch for the strikeout. One down. Let's check back in with Reese Davis.
All right, guys, Boston staring at elimination. Harold Reynolds is with me. David Ortiz hitless in the series until now, Harold.
Well, Keith Falk threw 3 innings in game 1 to get that save and then came back the next day to get the save. Just wasn't as sharp as he was this first couple outings.
2-run score. Now Boston trying to even the series in the ninth.
Wow. What a series that has been, and what a game today. The Red Sox and the A's going at it. Here is Derek Jeter. Jeter's had a 4 for 10 in this series and takes that one up the middle and another base hit. So Derek Jeter continues his postseason onslaught as the hit leader, and with 1 down he's got the single.
Santana does not have the stuff to be able to pitch up in the strike zone anytime, much less to these Yankee hitters. If he can't get the slider and his fastball down in the zone as he did with Soriano, he's going to have a tough day.
Jeter on at first base with a 1 down. 106 postseason hits, the most in Major League history. He, of course, has been playing with the Yankees in all these years since division play started, so the number of games for players like Jeter has increased dramatically over those who played back in the 60s, 50s, 40s. Santana will make a throw. Boy, almost threw that one away. It looked like he thought in the middle of that he didn't want to go there.
Well, I think what Jeter was trying to do is get him to throw over there. A lot of base runners want to see what your move is, especially early in the ball game. You've got Jeter on there, everybody in the bench. If Jeter makes a fake break to second base, you can get a move from Santana. That way everybody knows exactly what he's going to do.
Jeter not extending the lead over there. Giambi takes the pitch for a strike. Giambi's had 2 hits and 12 at-bats in the series.
Well, this is a slide step. Real quick move to the plate by Santana. That tells me that front hamstring on that land leg is feeling a whole lot better today than what he claimed it felt like in game 1.
And if he can locate that pitch consistently today, he will be very successful.
Giambi, under a 200 hitter against left-handers this year, takes that pitch outside. The fans in on every pitch. There's the line for him in game 1 of this series. So the Yankee hitters had a chance to see him. Not a lot of him, but they saw him.
And he's pitched well against the Yankees. He's thrown a lot of strikes, and he's pitched well, but he's pitched well down in the strike zone.
Jeter at first base. Giambi takes it that way. Mankiewicz had trouble with it, gets the out. Down to second base goes Jeter. Mankiewicz holding the bag there, so that ground ball came right to him.
That was an outstanding opportunity, though, to turn double play. He just couldn't get it out of his glove and went for the sure out. But with the way Giambi's legs have been affecting him this year, and as hard as that ball was hit, that was a great opportunity to turn a double play.
See how that plays out, because it keeps a runner at second base here. Giambi hitting into the ground ball and gives Bernie Williams an opportunity for the RBI. And what a series he's having. 5 for 10, 2 RBIs. He's red hot.
Last thing that you want to do is have to face Bernie Williams with a guy standing at second base. The more times you do that, more times the Yankees are going to rake in some runs.
Williams, a good hitter off left-handers at 280 this year. Got fooled. There's the big pitch Santana's developed this year, the changeup.
Just gets that ball right under the hands of Bernie Williams, and I think Bernie's fine cheating on that first pitch. If he gets a fastball middle in, that ball's in the seats.
Jeter off second base, 2 down. That one hit towards short. Guzman. Crow hops it over. No runs, base hit. 1 left on. Twins coming up before a full house on their home turf. Ron Gardner, the manager of the, trying to find some bats. There they are. We'll go through it with you. Stewart's been the hottest hitter in that lineup so far. The middle has not produced. And it won't get any easier for this lineup today because they go against the grizzled veteran, David Wells. Our Bristol Myers squib lineup for Minnesota.
David Wells has got to throw strikes early in the count, and I've got to believe that this Minnesota Twins lineup is going to make him move off the mound. They've got to make him move and try to at least get some type of fatigue in him so they can get to the middle of this Yankee bullpen. If it's just Starter and Rivera for the Yankees, not going to win too many games.
I mean, you're right, Jeff. They got to do something to energize this ball club. And he doesn't move that well around the mound. And they got some speed guys. Make him move off that mound. He may throw one away and really ignite this whole crowd.
Shannon Stewart has been the hottest hitter in the lineup in this series against the Yankees. Unfortunately for the Twins side of it, he's been about the only one who's been hot. David Wells ready to go. And the pitch is taken down low, ball 1. Wells is a very economical pitcher. There are few in the game who throw fewer pitches per at-bat against the opposition than David Wells. He likes to get strikes and get on with it. That one's taken for a strike, 1-1. John and Joe, thank you very much and welcome those of you watching that great Red Sox Oakland. The question is, will this one be extended? The Metrodome, the Yankees have a chance to wrap this series up with a victory. With David Justice, Jeff Brantley, Dave Ryan down at the field, we welcome you to this one. And we'll see whether or not here in this game, the Yankees, who have a put-away chance, can get it done. The Yankees in the first inning got a Jeter 1-out single. He was left stranded at second. Johan Santana making the start for the Twins. David Wells, the 40-year-old left-hander, is on the mound for the Yankees in a battle of left-handers here today. Stewart, 1 ball 2 strike count. He's 8 for 27 lifetime off Wells. Takes that pitch in the dirt.
There was a lot of talk that David Wells may not even make this start. A possibility of Contreras making the start on the 4th day, but Joe Torre obviously is thinking the same way that I would think. Experience is the greatest equalizer here, and having a guy like David Wells, good or bad season, he knows what he's doing out there.
And that one is taken. Did he go? Yes. Tim Welke says he went around. So Stewart's a strikeout victim.
Looks like a cutter down in the strike zone. Shannon doesn't think that he goes. That's got to be a swing for him.
Just a little bit.
Tried to buy that one, couldn't do it. Gary Darling, home plate umpire, not going to hear of it. Louis Rivas has had an 0 for 9 in this series. That one foul back. These Minnesota Twins have really struggled against the Yankees hitting wise, both regular season and here in the playoffs, as the Twins come in with a 179 batting average in this series against Yankee pitching. And during the regular season, they hit only 203 in the 7 games these teams played. So their hitters have just been absolutely stymied by Yankee pitching all season long.
And see what happens when your lineup's not hitting, then guys start putting more pressure on themselves to be the one who drives in the runs or the one that has to get all the hits. And that's even more pressure on you.
That one is popped up second base. Soriano back, looking up. He'll be called off. Rivera with his tough roof. If the outfielders can make the catches on fly balls, you want them to here. At the Metrodome, look at the differential. Now, this is supposed to be a home field advantage for Minnesota, and they play well here, but
this 216 right here, that's the number. If you can't hit any better than that in your own home ballpark, you're not going to win too many games.
Boy, that is bad, isn't it? And the Yankees, as you saw, have had 8 consecutive wins here over the past 2 seasons. 2 down, nobody on. Mankiewicz has had only 1 hit and 11 at-bats in this series. And if you do not have the middle of this lineup hitting for the Twins, you're in deep trouble. And that has been the problem, even though they picked up a win in game 1. Mankiewicz fouls that one back. Mankiewicz has gone 5 for 11 with a homer lifetime off Wells. But they're 3, 4, 5, 6 hitters in this series coming up empty.
Mankiewicz was telling me before the ballgame, he said he actually likes facing left-handers like Wells better than he does facing a normal right-hander, because anytime Wells tries to pitch him in, if he leaves the ball up, he says it feels like it's to his advantage.
Not going to get that one. So Wells has a couple of strikeouts and retires the side in order. No score after 1. We go back to Reese Davis. Jorge Posada going after the first pitch, fouls that one back. Matsui and Boone do up for the Yankees, a 1 for 12 in the series for Posada, as the Yankees have gotten just enough of it done with their outstanding pitching. The offense has been able to get in the runs they've needed at a 253 clip against Minnesota pitchers so far. Not a great number, but good enough when the pitching staff, especially the Yankee starters, have been fantastic.
Santana, this is why he's had that last pitch is why he's had so much success against the Yankees, throwing that changeup that's virtually the same speed as his slider, except the changeup is going away from these right-handers and that slider is coming down and in. Then you mix that in with a well-located fastball, then you got some good pitching.
Boy, does he need it today. That one bounced in the dirt. So just 71 miles an hour on that. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
And he tries to move that fastball all around the zone. But what makes that changeup even more effective when he can consistently pound that fastball in and get these right-handers at least looking in, opening that front shoulder just a little bit. That makes that changeup even more so effective.
You know the Yankees want to swing. They don't want to go up there and take.
24-year-old out of Venezuela gets the ground ball. He's got to cover first. May not get there in time. He does. Mankiewicz with the flip. 1 away, and we're going to check in downstairs with Dave Ryan. David.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot. In game 1 of the series in New York, the Bronx, in this series head-to-head Minnesota, the Yankees. Johan Santana was pitching very well in the 4th inning. All of a sudden on the bench, he hopped up in a lot of pain. That's because his left hamstring, he had a cramp. And since then, guys, he and the trainers have worked very hard. A lot of stretching. 4 bottles of Gatorade per day, plus a lot of bananas. The potassium in bananas helps reduce the propensity to cramp. He says he's all right, but he has had troubles with cramping in the past. Not, though, in back-to-back starts. So Ron Gardner is confident that he can go almost the entire game without having too much trouble. Watch it closely, though, from the dugout level here on the field.
Looks like he's starting a grocery store down there. Pitch is taken for a strike.
I don't care what he's got to eat. He's got to stay out there on the mound. I don't care if they have to rub it out every single inning that he comes in. It's the playoffs. You should be on the mound. Cramp or no cramp.
This is a game where the Twins call on him to have his best start ever. He's been a swing man for the last 2 seasons, out of the bullpen and then into the starting rotation with injuries this year to some of their starters. Well, he had 45 appearances, 18 starts. Ron Gardner saying we knew it was only a matter of time before he'd be in the starting rotation, and it was largely a question of when he got control of the changeup. That one's going to be taken down low. That's who he had the home run in the ball game yesterday. Over the last 2 regular seasons as a starter, some very impressive numbers.
Well, and he's really going to have to pitch on the corners and be very effective with his location.
That's who he takes that one to left field. Stewart drifting under. 2 down.
And you can see him as he starts out against the Yankees here, really pounding the strike zone. And as you were saying, David, you get that slider down and into the right-handers, then you get some swings that are out of the strike zone, and that's what he did. But he's got to stay out there longer than 4 innings.
Yeah, longer than 4 innings if they have any chance today. But also, he's not throwing anything that the Yankees haven't seen. See, because you just faced him a few days ago, there's nothing he's going to throw him that's going to surprise him. Therefore, it's very important for him to make sure that his location is on point today.
He's getting strikes early. He's had a first strike call on all of the hitters he's faced so far. Boone up there with 2 down and nobody on. Aaron Boone to right field, an Adam ball. Ooh, almost lost that in the lights. It's not just the roof here, it's also the lights in right and left field that are tough. Jock Jones hanging on to that one. 1-2-3 inning. Torrey Hunter will lead it off against Wells as we go to the second inning. Hunter at 3 for 10 so far in the series, chops that one foul outside of third. When Wells is on, you'll see a lot of ground balls that will be hit. Now, whether or not that's to his advantage or not, playing on this artificial carpet will depend on how they field behind him. The ball really does fly on this artificial surface. Aaron Boone down there fairly close. Jeter's deep at shortstop. Wells delivery is slammed for a base hit. Bernie Williams over. And there's the first hit for the Twins.
This is a nice swing. Torrey Hunter took a changeup actually out over the plate and up and drove it into center field.
Well, whenever you're facing Torrey Hunter, you've got to either go very soft or you've got to go hard in. Wells is trying to get him off speed, but he leaves this ball up. If you leave a ball up to Torrey Hunter, I don't care if it's going 30 miles an hour, he's going to hit it.
So the leadoff man is on. Pierzynski's 1 for 9. Boone moves in a bit at third. One of the questions today is, will the Twins bunt early against Wells? They've talked about bunting yesterday, today. They didn't do it yesterday. Will they do it today? Ron Gardenhire said he wants to, and said he will tell players to bunt today rather than leaving it up to the individuals at the plate.
Talking to Denny Hocking before the ballgame, he said that was the game plan with Clements on the mound, but when Clements is 0-1 every single time you step into the batter's box, it makes it very difficult to try to bunt, because if you don't make a perfect bunt, all of a sudden it's 0-2. Last thing you want against Roger is to be 0-2.
Yep.
Well, they understand that they're a speed team. They must utilize this surface, which is very quick. They understand that's their game.
Wells throwing over to keep Torrey Hunter close. And this is when it gets real tough with the Twins, because they can't make any mistakes. I mean, if you're going to try and steal a base, you've got to steal it. You cannot give the Yankees any outs in this game that they don't earn. And if you're going to lay a bunt down, you've got to get it down. There just isn't any room not to get it done right. Pierzynski wraps that one foul. Yesterday, he accounted for the offense.
And that was it.
That was it.
Home run. You got to score more than one run to beat the Yankees. I'm sorry, fellas.
But although you don't want to give the Yankees any outs, run into any outs, I'd still say you have to play aggressive baseball and take it to them. You don't want to be hesitant, because this is an elimination game. Play your game, play aggressive.
If you're gonna come to the ballpark and try to slug it out with the Yankees, you're done. You're done. You've got to hit and run. You've got to put some pressure on this defense, and you've got to make these outfielders run around a little bit. The only way you're going to do it is put the runners in motion, put the ball on the ground from bunting, and try to steal some bases.
Hunter had 6 stolen bases, caught 7 times. Pierzynski's 2 for 7, lifetime off Wells. Takes that one to center field. Bernie Williams backing up. He sees it. He's got it. The tag to second. Hunter, here's the relay. Not in time.
Once again, this is a great play by Torrey Hunter. And I always say you got to give your coaching staff some credit. Jerry White was all over this. Knowing that Bernie has to run all the way deep center field. It's 408 out there to the wall. You know he's catching with his weight going backwards. Doesn't have a very strong arm. This is because he hurries back. And with that great speed, it's still a very close play, but most of that is because of Jeter's strong arm and not Bernie Williams.
Well, you saw Torrey Hunter, as soon as he saw that ball and saw Bernie going back, he raced back. Normally on that ball, you're going halfway anyway. He sees Bernie going back. He made that decision in a hurry.
But this is how I think the Twins need to play this game, with just reckless abandon. Just be aggressive. Keep pushing, keep pushing.
Pedaya takes the pitch for a strike. He went after it. You saw one of the things we've talked about in this series. Generally, on that play, the throw would have come from the center fielder directly in, but Bernie Williams does not have a good arm. So Jeter and/or Soriano always has to go out to take relays from Bernie Williams, even though it may not be a particularly deep fly ball. That extra time allows Minnesota to gain a base.
And see, teams will start taking note of that, and you'll see next year when Bernie's playing center field, more teams will start tagging him from first.
And that's a big base you can get if you can do it that way. Great to have you with us here. The Red Sox have extended their series to 5. The Twins are trying to do that here today. With Jeff Brantley, David Justice, Dave Ryan, I'm Gary Thorne. We hope you're having a great day. There's the starter, the boomer, against Santana, the youngster, for the Minnesota Twins. Runner on at second. Cadea inserted into the lineup to try and find a hot bat. And Wells just jams him down and in, and he's gone.
When David Wells is throwing that fastball up, he's got a little ride to it. Then he comes back with this curveball. It's off speed enough to make you think fastball out of his hands. Your body moves forward. The ball just drops right off the table. There's nothing you can do with it except just try to nick it, try to foul it off. Not fouling off that one.
Told you he doesn't waste time out there. 20 pitches thrown, 17 have been thrown for strikes. Now it's up to Jacques Jones. A runner on at second base, now 2 down. Jones 2 for 12 in the series. Jeter trying to hold the runner close. That one taken to right field. It's Rivera back and drifting and makes the catch. There was a target out there, but it wasn't the one the Twins wanted to have it hit to. No score.
It's my opinion.
ESPN's presentation of the 2003 MLB Division Series, brought to you by Radio Shack. You could win World Series tickets for life. Through October 13th, collect commemorative postcards with holograms at Radio Shack while supplies last. Then watch the World Series and you could win.
Packed house here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, where the Yankees and Twins go to the 3rd inning scoreless. Minnesota last year had to battle from behind to move on against Oakland in the division series. Same situation. They won the first game, lost the next 2, and then ultimately won the final 2 games to move on. The Yankees lost to Anaheim last year, the ultimate world champions. That one to center field. Hunter, wow, did that stay up? That ball was cracked by Rivera. Trying to keep that hamstring loose. Santana, the starter for the Twins. Obviously, they keeping a very close eye on that, but so far, it looks like it's not bothering them.
Well, both of these teams have come out swinging. I mean, if the first pitch looks good, they're hacking. So both of these teams are trying to apply the pressure on each other.
Boy, would Nick Johnson like to get it going. Here's a guy who led the Yankees during the regular season in on-base percentage. He has not had a hit in the 9 at-bats in this series, and he ended the season going 0 for 16. That one hit in the air to center again. Hunter backing up. It's 4:08. Maybe the zero's off. No. And again, a problem finding that in the roof. But Hunter hung with it 408 feet away.
Well, this ball actually started out going one way and actually went back across. And instead of him turning frontwards, he decided to turn this way. Well, the problem is you got a chance of losing the ball in the roof. But he's one guy who said that he can take his alpha ball and look back up and catch it. So much is made about the roof here, but people don't understand. These lights sit low and they're very bright, and even line drives are very tough at times.
Well, Jones started this season playing in left field, and when they got Shannon Stewart, now he's in right, so it's a little difficult to try to learn different eyesight in this ballpark, specifically because of the roof and the lights you were talking about.
We saw yesterday virtually no impact on any ball hit. Today, early in the game, we've already seen 2. Both have been handled by the Twins, but it was not easy. See, those are the light banks David's talking about that you look up into and from right and left field.
See what happens, the balls arrive to the stadium brand new, and they got a guy downstairs that rubs them up. Well, he happens to rub them up the same color as the roof, which makes it very tough once that ball gets up there to see it.
It's when you want to be a first baseman, not an outfielder.
That's when you want to be up in the booth.
You know if it's difficult for Torrey Hunter and Jacques Jones, who play here every day, to find the ball and catch the baseball. How difficult is it for the opposition when they come in, and this is not even their home ballpark?
You're right, Jeff. I mean, we were talking to Gardner yesterday. He said even his own team, as much experience as they have at home, they still miss balls from time to time.
Alfonso Soriano with a big cut. He struck out his first time up. Now, these outfielders have to battle it, whether they've got a Twins uniform on or another, but they do. It's just a matter of staying with it. Don't lose sight of the baseball. Fans are up. Santana gets him swinging. He has struck him out twice. That was an 8-pitch inning for the young left-hander. Still no score. Well, he has struck out 2. A left-hander. Santana making the start. No score. Each team's picked up just 1 hit. Wells has struck out 3. No walks. A couple of singles. 1 for each team. That's been it. Bottom of the 3rd. Gorikoski, Guzman, and Stewart. Off-speed delivery misses inside for a ball. It's one thing doesn't happen very often when Wells is on the mound. This year he threw 71% of his pitches for strikes, the highest percentage in the major leagues. That one is a strike, and it's popped up shallow left. I don't think Matsui saw it. Jeter's all the way out and makes the play. Matsui did not know where that ball was.
Never saw it till right at the last second. Wells likes to use his fastball off of that curveball. The curveball is up sometimes, but if your fastball is in the middle of the strike zone and that curveball is in the middle of the strike zone, they're going to hit the ball a long way. It's okay to pitch up and to change eye levels, but you can't stay straight in the middle of the plate the whole ball game.
Here is Guzman. 1 down. Couple of hits, 9 at bats for him in the series. Led the league in triples with 14. Has speed. He was obtained from the Yankees back in '98 in a deal. Guzman had been highly touted by the Yankee organization. In fact, he hasn't done well against them, however. 1 for 18 in the regular season against Yankee pitching with 8 strikeouts.
Saw Wells freeze just a little bit on that breaking ball. There's been a couple of curveballs that he's thrown that Gary Darling has not given him behind the plate. I would imagine that if this continues, we're going to see Wells actually have something to say about that.
That one towards the gap. Bernie Williams sees it. Glides underneath and puts it away, and we'll check in with Dave Ryan. Dave.
All right, Gary, thanks. Yesterday we told you about the decibel level here inside the Metrodome and how the Twins and their fans had hoped maybe to throw the Yankees off their game, maybe some intimidation with the noise. This decibel meter shows about 70 right now. Anything over 85 decibels is considered dangerous with continual exposure to the ear. Yesterday it was about 105 for the A.J. Przinsky home run. When the Twins took the field today, it went up to about 110, and the Soriano strikeout a few moments ago at the hands of Johan Santana went up to about 105. That's the loudest it's been, so a bit louder inside the dome today, and we'll see if it does bother the Yanks. Guys, from field level, I don't think it has so far at all.
And all we can say to that, Dave, is what?
Well, it hasn't bothered them because the Twins haven't really mounted an attack to really get the fans on their feet.
Yesterday just never happened. That one to left field. Matsui hesitates, can't get it, and it bounces by him. That's going to be in front of him. He can't find it. Going into second base, Guzman, or Stewart, rather.
That's another thing about playing on AstroTurf. Is judging how high a ball is actually going to bounce. And you'll find yourself sometimes approaching the ball too quickly and find yourself having to use your body to stop it. It's a good job by him to jump up and use his body to stop it.
But if you know you're not going to be able to catch this ball, you've got to back off a little bit. I mean, you've got to know that the ball off the turf is going to bounce higher than it will on regular grass.
Right, but it's only if he felt that he knew that he wasn't going to catch it. You never know if he thought maybe he could make a shoestring catch on it.
Now the noise levels up. Rivas. 3 doubles have been hit in this series by the Twins. Stewart has 2 of them.
If Matsui's going to come running in on a ball like that with 2 outs, you better make dadgum sure you can catch that baseball.
He's had a struggle out there already early in this game. Now Rivas, who flied out his first time up. Again, an off-speed delivery that misses outside.
And you have to understand, in playoff baseball, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities to score. Each team has had an opportunity, but you're not going to get an opportunity every inning. You have to take advantage of the opportunities. That's why we say it's pitching defense, then timely hitting. Here's a chance now for some timely hitting if this Twins ball club wants to get on the board.
Rivas 0 for 10 so far in the series. Wells Up and under the hands, falls behind, 3-0. You've got middle of the order due up, and the fans up.
Well, with Minkiewicz on deck being a left-handed hitter, Rivas had a 3-0 count. Even though he may not be as dangerous as Minkiewicz in certain situations, Wells is not about to lay a cookie in there with a runner at second base and 2 down.
Wells doesn't walk anybody. He walked .85 batters per 9 innings, the lowest rate in the American League since 1920.
But Jeff, I think you're right. He won't mind though if he walks Rivas. Rivas is not a big power guy. He's one of those kind of guys pitchers hate to see because they're good at flaring balls, taking balls the other way. They'd much rather see guys that try to hit the ball at the ballpark in situations like this.
Stewart off second base. That one fouled straight back, and he gets the count, 3-2.
When you can pitch a season like Wells has and not walk, like you were talking about, Gary, not walk very many hitters, that's not just about having command of your fastball. It's also having command of a big breaking ball that Wells throws and also the changeup. You've got to master all three to be able to go out there and not walk the people that he hasn't walked.
About 20 walks in 213 innings.
That's control.
Mama. Runner at second, 3-2. And Wells gets him. And there's one of those big pitches that you get in a game at a vital moment. 4 strikeouts for Wells, 1 left on at second. So we start out with a pitcher's duel here. The Yankees and Twins, no scores. We go to the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit. Yankees, no runs, 2 hits for the Twins. The way this series has been in the first 3 games continues here in game 4. All about pitching. Santana goes back out. No walks, couple of strikeouts. Gave up a single to Jeter in the 1st inning. It's the only base runner the Yankees have had on against him. And Jeter will start it out here. 5 hits, 11 at bats now in the series for Derek Jeter, the Yankee captain, who takes the inside corner strike. Yankees won 26 games and lost only 11 against left-handed starters during the regular season. They had great success against both righties and lefties, obviously, to win 101 games.
Well, I think Santana's going to try to pitch Jeter in this at bat. His first at bat, he got a first pitch fastball away and drove it for a base hit. He figured, I got to get, if I want to get him out later or away, I must establish in.
Jeter after that one, not happy with the cut he took. 1-2.
You can pitch Jeter inside, but you've also got to mix up your pitches. You just can't throw him continual fastballs, and he gets a slider in there. He thinks it's a fastball, just swings right over the top of it.
Jeter was not happy with himself on the effort on that cut. Santana's pitch swung on and missed. You do not hit that one, even if you're Derek Jeter. I want to remind you, coming up tonight, one of the great rivalries of the NFL as the Cleveland Browns look to avenge a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's the Browns Steelers, 8:30 Eastern, ESPN. It's available on ESPN HD. It all starts with NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite at 7:30. The Browns from way up top. Some 55,000 plus on hand here today, as they were yesterday. To see if their Twins can extend this and send it back to New York. Jason Giambi. Giambi grounded out his first time up. That's going to be a gapper. Chased over by Hunter. It'll go all the way to the wall. Giambi on his way to second base will go in easily as he gets a stand-up double with 1 away here in the 4th inning.
David, when you have 2 guys going for the ball out there like that and your center fielder is trying to make the play, I mean, are you talking to each other the whole time, or do you already know who's going to back up who, or how do you determine who's actually going to go for the ball when you're both running at it like this?
Well, in a situation where, like that particular one, as a left fielder, you want to back up your center fielder. That ball was actually closer to Torrey Hunter, so just on a matter of feel, you knew that Torrey Hunter was going to go for it, but you must back him up just in case he doesn't get it once he passes it, and he didn't get it. So Stewart did a good job of backing up.
Yankees have picked up 5 doubles now against the Twins in the series. That's the first one that Giambi has had. He's at second base. And here is Bernie Williams, the nemesis so far in this series for Twins pitchers. And Williams fouls it back. Now, this has been a pitcher's series. The Yankees have had some of the big names come through, and Bernie Williams, David, one of those, who's just having a really fine playoff right now.
Well, Bernie dealt with a lot of injuries this year, to his shoulders, to his knee, and he's finally healthy. And that's a good sign for this ball club because he can be very clutch. I mean, that's why he hits where he hits. I mean, he's a run producer.
Check swing on that. Looks like he went around. He did. We've had only, in this 3-game series, 13 runs scored. Yankees 8, Twins 5.
Well, Santana has found a pitch that's starting to really work for him. That breaking ball is breaking in at low and in, as well as in around the thigh. And it's obviously breaking a lot because Jeter didn't take a good swing and Bernie didn't take a good swing.
Giambi off second base. Williams takes a good swing. That's a fair ball. Giambi's going to come around to score. Stewart chasing it down. It bounces back to the infield. Looking right at it, Williams. He'll stop at second. Back-to-back doubles. Bernie Williams, another RBI, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Third RBI of the series for Williams.
Well, he went to the well one time too many. He was able to get him on the pitch before that, but this particular one looked like Bernie saw it a lot better and did a great job of driving this ball down the third base line. But that's just adjusting within an at-bat, getting a sense that he may come back with this breaking ball because of my previous approach at the last pitch. Outstanding job.
You can't continue to pitch to Bernie Williams with a runner at second base. It just makes him a better hitter.
He's a clutch RBI producer, and he does it again.
And you know, Jeff, another reason for that too is yesterday he had some big hits, so he has some confidence right now going with men in scoring position, whereas Posada hasn't been driving in runs the way Bernie has. I agree with you. You don't want to pitch to Bernie right now.
He had 2 strikes on Bernie. That was not a good pitch with a 2-strike count with a runner at second base.
Jorge Posada fouls the pitch off. He grounded out his first time up, so the Yankees get on the board first in this ball game and take the 1-0 lead on their 3rd hit of the game, but 2 of them back-to-back doubles against Santana here in the 4th.
You know, when you have a guy that's hot and you're pitching against him, he has to hit your pitch, especially with a base open. That base is open, he's got to hit your pitch. If not, you go with the next guy.
That one towards the hole. That's going to be a base hit. Late break for Williams. Stewart gets it in. Runner will stop at third, and the Yankees 3 consecutive hits have the corners covered with 1 away.
Well, Bernie can't score on that ball right there anyway. He's got to freeze because of where the ball's hit to the left side of the infield. Last thing that you want to do with 1 out is run into an out at third base. So you freeze, make sure the ball goes through, then you can go to third base.
Now Matsui's going to get the chance. With only 1 away, infield will look for that ground ball double play to end the inning. Matsui will be looking for the RBI.
Well, yesterday Matsui came up in a big situation, guessed for a fastball inside and hit it out of the ballpark. He got jammed the first time up. I've got to believe that he's going to look for a pitch that, especially early, that he can drive out of here.
Was he ever a clutch hitter for the Yankees? Regular season .335 with runners in scoring position. Matsui stands in here and takes it up high for a ball.
And the reason why he hits so well at men in scoring position because he can hit the ball to all fields. He's not a guy who's just a pull hitter. Usually guys who hit great with men in scoring position, they take what the pitcher gives them. If you want Matsui to hit the ball to left field, he'll hit it to left. If you pitch him in, he'll pull it. That's why he hits so well with men in scoring position.
Runners at first and third, only 1 away. Matsui a chopper to first. Metkevich looking to the plate. It's a foul ball. Well, that stops that play right there. Here's the homer he had yesterday.
And look where this pitch is. Ball's up in the strike zone. A high velocity pitch from Los, and he was blowing it by everybody else in the Yankee lineup. He sees it, hits it a ton.
And by him hitting lower in the lineup, he had an opportunity to see Los throw a lot of fastballs. So, hey, why not look for a first pitch fastball or a fastball in that at bat? And he got it and actually drove it out of here.
Joe Torre said today he thinks Matsui will be a 20 to 25 home run hitter in his career. Doesn't think he'll go a lot over that, but he said he'll be so productive. He'll be a good extra base hitter. I mean, he already is. He's a 10-year veteran of the Japanese league. That one to the gap in right center field. Hunter's not going to get it. What a shot. That'll bounce up and over a ground rule double. It'll score Williams. Jorge Posada will stop at third. Matsui gets the RBI, and the Yankees have a 2-0 lead.
Well, that ground rule double cost him a run, because I guarantee you Posada was scoring on that ball if the ball doesn't one hop over the fence.
And this is exactly what Joey Torre is talking about, though. This guy is a run producer. He's a line drive hitter who has some pop that can hit an occasional home run. He's not going to hit 40 or 50, but he's going to do that day in and day out. Drive the ball into the gaps, come up with big hits.
He just waits so well for a lefty-lefty matchup. He waits a long time, and I think you mentioned this earlier, David. He can wait a long time because he's confident in the fact that he can take an inside pitch and he can cut inside of it and hit the ball the other way. When you're confident doing that, you can wait a long time.
Right. When you have the ability to use the whole field, and you know that you can let a ball travel deeper in the zone and hit it the opposite field, it just makes you a dangerous hitter.
Aaron Boone, the infield is drawn in. They'll go for the play at the plate if the runner breaks. With only one away here in the 4th inning, the Yankees have had 4 consecutive hits. 3 of them have been doubles. And the Yankees have the 2-0 lead.
We haven't seen too many changeups from Santana. We've seen fastballs. We've seen cutters in to these right-handers. But the changeup is the equalizer. And if you don't throw that pitch, Yankee hitters are going to sit on the other one.
Boone checked it. It's on the inside corner. And Santana's in trouble here in the 4th inning. First 11 he faced, struck out 3. They only had 1 hit off him. This inning, 4 straight hits and 2 runs in. 24-year-old left-hander. Going to find a way to get out of this inning without further damage. That won't be easy. Boone right off the fist to short. Guzman puts that away. 2 down.
The more times you face a lineup, the more adjustments that you have to make. And we're starting to see Santana now facing this Yankee lineup probably for the 2nd or 3rd time, and he's got to make some adjustments. He's got to change a little bit, or the Yankees are just going to continue to pound him.
Well, I totally agree with you, Jeff, because when you face a pitcher only 4 or 5 days ago, there's nothing he's going to throw you that's going to surprise you. You've seen everything. It's so important for him, his location, to be on point. When he throws inside, he can't miss. When he throws in an outside corner, he's got to stay on those corners and mix in the breaking ball, because he's not going to fool you because you just saw him 4 or 5 days ago.
And I like the fact that he's pitched inside today. That would be one of my first points that I would make. But you can't just live on one side of the plate, and that's what he's tried to do. If you're going to pitch these righties inside, you've got to get them to look away for something, whether it's a fastball or a changeup. You've got to go to the other side of the plate sometime.
Here's Rivera, moved up in the lineup from the number 9 spot to the number 8 spot. Flied out his first time up. Rivera's a .340 hitter off left-handers this year, and you got to wonder whether that conference with Gardenhire had to do with what are you going to throw Rivera when you've got the guy who's old for his last 26 due up next in Nick Johnson.
And Juan Rivera has been quietly putting together some very good at-bats. He lined out his first at-bat, and yesterday he had a few hits, so he's seeing the ball pretty good.
Rivera with 2 in scoring position and 2 down. And that one's going to be taken inside, and it sure looks like Santana's trying not to throw anything remotely close as far as being hittable is concerned. John Gardenhire, 2nd-year manager, pacing, already has the bullpen going, and they'll, in fact, intentional pass it almost bounces away. Brzezinski had it bounce off his glove.
Well, the Yankees are doing exactly what they did yesterday. They've jumped out ahead of this ball club, and they're taking the crowd totally out of this game.
We spent so much time talking about the effect this crowd can have on a ball game and on a team. For 2 days here, the effect has been that. The Yankees quieting it.
Turned a divisional playoff game into a tennis match.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we talked about this Twins ball club needing to bunt, needing to hitting run, needing to do some things to put some pressure on the Yankees. Well, you let the Yankees get too far ahead of you, all that bunt, you can forget about it. Yep. Then you got to hit the ball over the fence. And we know if you try to slug with the Yankees, you're done.
And that's what the Yankees are trying to do. Put the Twins in that situation again. Bases loaded. 2 down. Nick Johnson. Johnson's had an 0 for 10 in the series. 0 for his last 26.
Well, a hit here will totally blow this game wide open. 2-0, you're still within range. But a 4-0 game will make it very tough for this ball club that's not hitting that well to come back.
Johnson watches that one sail outside from Santana. Boy, would he like to get out of that for right now. Hit here would allow him and everybody else to forget about what had come before. Pitches piling up here in the fourth. Johnson with a big grand slam cut that doesn't connect.
You're not going to see Nick Johnson do that too many times, but his eyes get big on this fastball up in the strike zone. Many times you'll see Johnson get inside that ball and shoot it to the left center field gap. I think on that pitch, that front shoulder comes open. I think he's thinking hero trying to hit that ball out of the ballpark.
Now the fans up. 1-2 delivery. Johnson's got a base hit in the gap. One run in. Second will score. Jack Jones had to knock it down. It's a double and 2 RBIs. And the Yankees lead at 4-0. So much for the offer and so much for the intentional pass.
That swing right there was a totally different swing with 2 strikes than we saw when he swung and missed that ball. And it looked almost, David, like those were the same 2 pitches. That ball looked like it was up in the strike zone. That's the same ball he just threw by him.
Well, I'm really surprised that he threw all fastballs at bat and didn't try to throw a breaking ball at all, especially to a guy who's scuffling at the plate.
Wow. That will be it for the 24-year-old left-hander. The bullpen goes to work for the Twins.
Reese Davis, Harold Reynolds with you in the studio. In case you missed it, Oakland and Boston, game 4 earlier, 4-3 in the 8th. David Ortiz.
Well, he gets a good pitch to drive. If that ball bounces out, it's a ground rule double. Luck is with Boston today, and I think Keith Falk, with his 3rd appearance in this series in such short turnaround, was really a disadvantage for Oakland.
Scott Williamson came on to finish up for the Red Sox, and we are headed back to Oakland for game 5. It'll be Pedro and Zito.
Just a tremendous series. And one here the Yankees are threatening to put away here in game 4. Santana's out of there and Juan Rincon out of the bullpen.
Rincon came in the ball game yesterday. He's a sinker ball pitcher, just trying to get a ground ball, just trying to get an out right here and keep Soriano in the ballpark. The last thing that the Twins need right here is a long ball from Soriano, because you can close the book and they might empty this place.
9 hitters have come to the plate. Johnson, the 2 RBI doubles on at second base. Rivera is on at third, and that one's in for a strike. Soriano has struck out twice.
And see, that's why it's so important to throw Soriano a lot of fastballs inside. Just the way he took that first pitch, his shoulder opened early, which told me that he's now conscious of the fastball inside.
Rincon gets it in left field. Stewart coming over. Stewart can't get it. Plays it on a hop. 2 runs will score. It is a 2 RBI single for Soriano and a 6-0 Yankee lead.
But Soriano got a breaking ball breaking away from him, and he just really reached out. Didn't have a lot of power behind the swing, but he had great placement.
Thought that ball might be caught, David, and Stewart came charging.
Well, Stewart was playing him more over in the gap, and he had a very long run. For a guy who's got a lot of speed, this ball is pretty much over by the line, and when you're playing a guy in the gap, that's a very long run.
We've seen Yankee hitters make these adjustments all day long. That swing from Soriano was different than the first swing that we saw, and the double in the gap by Nick Johnson. The second swing was the key. He kept that shoulder in and he made an adjustment.
This inning started, throw down, not in time, with Derek Jeter at the plate. Nick Johnson, one of 4 doubles that have been hit in this inning, as the Yankees send their 10th man to the plate. They have put up 6 runs here in the 4th inning.
You know, sometimes, David, you get into the postseason and just the enormity of this whole event just paralyzes guys when they get out onto the field. They can't make the adjustments that they normally make. We watched Santana pitch today. That's not how he normally pitches. He doesn't throw 90% breaking balls inside to right-handers. He uses his changeup. He throws fastballs, but you know, I think that's why it benefits the Yankees so much being able to play in the postseason. These guys are used to it. They're still playing baseball. They're not trying to do anything different. They're doing what makes them good.
And that's pretty good. Yeah. That went off the fist. Jeter popped it up. That could be trouble in no man's land. Foul ball. The charge was on Mientkiewicz, Rivas, and Jones. Nobody could get to it.
And you hear the talk all the time. Well, the Yankees got a break here, or Soriano hit that ball off the end of the bat, or just this ball. You know what? The Yankees make those things happen, and that's why they win. Because they play with confidence. They're not out there hoping they're going to just flip one in there. They make contact and they make things happen.
Well, talking to them before the game today, they really felt confident in this game against Santana. For some reason, they felt like, hey, we're going to do a better job today of getting pitches to hit, making him pitch to us, and we're going to hit him hard today. And that's what they were talking about before the game.
They have. They did. Jeter's 1 for 2 in the ball game with a single. Takes that inside. The 4 doubles we have had hit by the Yankees in this inning is a new division series record. 4 doubles in an inning for one ball club. The Yankees have already done that in a 6-hit inning. And keep in mind, there was an intentional walk involved here too to Rivera before Johnson came up and delivered the bases loaded 2 RBI double. Jeter takes the breaking ball outside.
And the Yankees are not guys that just sit over there and say, oh, we're going to pound this guy today, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. It's a very calm internal swagger. These guys are confident. They know that they're good. They don't have to go out and say, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But yet they're confident in the fact that the opposition that stands over there, we're better than they are today, and we're going to go out there and prove it.
And that they have done so many times. Rincon, 24-year-old right-hander, 3rd appearance in the series. Trying to find the out here. Runner at first going, and Jeter takes it inside. So Jeter's going to get down with a walk. And the Yankees will continue their 4th inning now with runners on at first and second base. That'll bring up Giambi, who already has delivered a double in the inning. And that not close. And for the starting pitcher watching, it just gets worse. He'll be charged with the 6 runs that have scored. The starter Santana, 6 runs, 6 hits, 3 2/3 innings. Giambi 1 for 2 with a double. Takes the pitch outside for a ball. Tell you about the Yankee confidence. Joe Torre told us yesterday before the game when we were talking about the moment where the Yankees came together. He said he thought it was a month ago in the series, a big series they played against the Boston Red Sox. Said I think that's when we learned what we could do and how to be confident without being over zealous about who we are. He said it was interesting. He said for the Yankees this year, unlike the last decade, the 8 years he's managed, he said it took us a long time to find out who we were this year.
Well, it's not the same team that has played in all those postseasons. I mean, they've actually gotten guys in here that are new guys, and it takes some time. There's an adjustment period. There's always an adjustment period anytime you play in Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's just an adjustment. I don't think anyone can just play for the Yankees. It takes a certain player.
Pass ball. Runners will advance, and the wheels are falling off the Twins wagon.
Well, the Twins have got to get out of this inning to give them any kind of hope at all. You know that there is some disappointment. You could see Santana in the dugout when Rincon walked Jeter. But this ball is right in the center of A.J. Pierzynski's glove, and he just doesn't squeeze it.
But we're talking about the Yankees, just like any other team. There comes a point in time during a season. It could be a huge series where your team realizes and finds out what type of team, what type of character you have. And that's what you're talking about, Gary.
Interesting that it would take a team with this great tradition that long to find it. What a stop. Now Pierzynski had one go by, and there he saves a wild pitch.
Used the glove that time. Now this is the ball that's most likely going to the backstop. Fastball down in the dirt. Breaking balls are much easier to block than a fastball in the dirt because you're expecting a big league pitcher to get the ball somewhere close to the glove.
Giambi's got 2 in scoring position. 3-0 delivery to him, and he's on with a walk, and Rincon now is walk 2. And checking the bullpen on Gardner to make sure they've got somebody available. And now for the fans, and applause that he's coming out to get Rincon. Santana will head up to the dressing room. So the third pitcher of the game coming on here in the fourth inning with the Yankees again have the bases loaded. Well, Rincon will leave, and we'll be watching now as he ends up walking a couple of batters in the game to coming on in relief. And now the bases are loaded again, and the Yankees have Bernie Williams up, who's already delivered an RBI double in the inning and has grounded out. Eric Milton out of the bullpen, another left-hander. Williams sacks full, takes it up high for a ball.
Well, they have the right man up at the right time. Bernie is as hot as anyone in this lineup.
Every time he's come to the plate, he's had somebody in scoring position.
And he's been able to move him around.
David, don't you think you lock in more as a hitter when you know you got an RBI out there waiting on you?
Towards short, going to be a tough play. Force at second, and a good play made by Guzman de Rivas. Out of the inning, but what an inning it was as the Yankees get 6, and it's 6-0. David Wells has won all 7 games he has started against Minnesota since he became a Yankee. He's got a pretty good chance of extending that right now. A 6-0 lead. Nick Johnson getting out of an 0 for 26 with a double, part of that big 6-run inning. Now Mankiewicz will lead it off and takes the pitch for a strike. We were talking about character earlier, David. Now we find out what the Twins have for character, because now you got to dig down.
If there's ever a time where there's a sense of urgency, it is now. And this is a ball club that has not swung the bats well.
David Wells misses with that one outside. Wells has given up a single to Torrey Hunter in the second inning, a double to Stewart in the third. Both those runners stranded. 1-1 delivery. Mankiewicz swings well behind that one, and a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the Twins have got to do something so that you can give the other guys in that dugout a little glimmer of hope. When you're down 6-0 and the Yankees are staring you in the face, somebody's got to make something happen.
It's very important in this inning for David Wells to come through it unscathed, to keep this momentum flowing. You do not even want to give the Twins even 1 run, because then you shift a little momentum and make them think, well, hey, we got 1. Maybe we can come back. You want to 1-2-3 them and keep them down and keep all the positive energy on your ball club.
There's still a long way to go here. That one is fouled off down the line, and keeps the at-bat alive with a 1-ball 2-strike count.
We talked earlier about Wells' command of the strike zone. That's the one thing that works to his favor here. He's not going to hurt himself. He's not going to walk hitters. He's going to continue to challenge the strike zone. And if the Twins are going to come back in this ball game, they're going to have to do it putting the ball in play somewhere where the Yankees can't catch it.
That one hopper. Soriano deep, makes the play. Mankiewicz is retired. 1 down.
We talked about Santana having to keep the ball down in the strike zone, and David, you talked about him having to have good location. He didn't have either one. He left the ball in the middle of the plate, and when he did get the ball on the sides of the plate, the ball was up and the Yankees just hammered him. You've got to change with each guy that comes to the plate. You've got to make an adjustment as a pitcher, and he just didn't do that today.
David Wells, 1 down, nobody on, gets a strike. Torrey Hunter's delivered a single in the ball game. Minnesota Twins facing elimination here today, and the Yankees a chance to move on to the American League Championship Series against either Oakland or the Red Sox. That to be decided tomorrow, as that series is going to go 5 games. Those 2 teams right about now are getting on board jet planes to fly from Boston to Oakland.
Well, it may be 6-0 in this ball game, but David, we both know the guys that sit in this Minnesota Twins dugout. There's no quitters over there. These guys are going to continue to play and try in this ball game.
Got a base hit on that one. Hunter. That was good use of the Sunday Times right there as he bloops that one over Jeter's head.
Hey, I agree with you, Jeff. This ball club never quits. They're going to keep putting pressure on this Yankee ball club. He gets a ball inside, actually, and you know, that's where a lot of teams really try to pitch him. They don't like for him to get his arms extended. When he gets his arms extended, he's a very powerful young man. But when you come inside on him, there's a tendency that you can jam him, and that's what David Wells tried to do. Now, you look at this Twins ball club, That's why I was saying David Wells cannot give them any sense of life in this inning. Keep him down. He needs to get through this inning unscathed.
Brzezinski, that's off the bag, literally straight up in the air. Gets by Soriano. Torrey Hunter's on his way to third, and he'll stay there. Brzezinski's on with a literal base hit.
And see, this is what I'm talking about. You have the crowd out of it. You have the guys feeling a sense of being a little bit demoralized because we're giving up 6 runs. You want to keep them down. You don't want to give them any type of life. And that is what has happened. David Wells is giving them a little bit of life now.
Again, that carpet coming into play. Soriano backing it up, got too close to it, and ended up bouncing over his head, and that allowed Torrey Hunter to move over to third base.
Or shall I say Torrey Hunter and A.J. Brzezinski is giving him a little bit of life.
Yeah.
Well, Michael Kadire has got to do whatever he can to get this runner in from third base. The last thing that you want to do is get into a ground ball double play right here. That'll just suck the life right out of you.
Strikeout victim his first time up. Kadire during the regular season at 245. He had 102 at bats, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and takes that pitch down low for a ball. Kadire inserted into the lineup today by Ron Gardenhire, and Kadire's come up twice now with runners on. He had a chance in the second inning. Hunter was on at second base and he struck out. Now he's got runners at first and third with 1 away. Kadire's had 1 hit and 8 at bats lifetime off Wells. Hunter and Brzezinski get their leads, and that one misses down low. 2-0.
Well, he's going to get a fastball most likely right here. 6-run lead, 2-0 count. David Wells is not going to back off. He's going to probably get a fastball, and it's probably going to be middle away. Kadire's got to make sure he doesn't try to overswing. Just get the bat on the baseball and get it into the outfield.
Kadire got one to hit, but was late on it. Puts it down the bullpen way and then bounces out into the outfield.
But I like that approach, though, because here he is 2-0. He's not jerking. He was going to take what David Wells is going to give him. He was just a little late reacting on his fastball away. So that tells me his mindset is only about getting a base hit and not trying to get all the runs in right now.
Shoot the ball the other way. Do what you even a sac fly at this point is a moral victory for the Minnesota Twins at this point. They've got to do something to get that goose egg off the board.
Kadire played both minors and obviously with the Twins this year, 35 games with the big club. 2-1 strike count, runners off first and third. Kadire takes that breaking ball. Jorge Posada stops it. It's 3-1.
And see, that's the breaking ball that he actually struck Kadire out on earlier. But see, at that point, Kadire had 2 strikes. When you don't have 2 strikes on you, then you can just take it because you're probably sitting on a different pitch. It's not as effective throwing that curveball in the dirt with 1 strike as it is when you have 2 strikes on the guy.
The wife of the Yankees starter. There's your decibel reading.
Fastball away. Get ready.
3-1 delivery to Kadire. And a chopper off his foot. And it's a full count.
And that fastball was 85 miles an hour, almost as if it was a BP fastball.
You know, it looked like he cut that ball a little bit. He started in the same place that he threw the 2-0 pitch, and then that ball started to come back to the inside part of the plate. David Wells, you guys talked about it earlier. He's got command of the strike zone. That is a gutsy pitch right there, even with a 6-run lead. The last thing you want to do is load him up with a walk.
3-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way. Kadire bloops that one center field. Bernie Williams can't get it. Knocks it down. 1 run will score. Twins are on the board.
Great job by Kadire right there. Just continuing to stay with his approach to hit the ball the other way, trying to do whatever he can to get that run in. That's a great job.
Well, David Wells goes with the fastball and actually jams him on it. And this is just because of his strength. He was able to muscle this ball in front of Bernie Williams. But see, defensively, when you're playing on AstroTurf, a lot of guys do not like diving on AstroTurf because of the rug burns they can get. If it's grass out there, Bernie Williams actually may dive. But you got to be very careful diving on this turf, as well as as well as because of the fact if you miss it, that ball can roll to that 408-foot sign. Now, this is a huge inning.
If you're on grass there, David, if you dive for it, the ball stops in its place. On the turf, the ball continues to roll to center field. You don't know who's going to catch it then.
And there'll be a whole lot of running going on.
Ain't nobody behind you in the outfield, is it?
Just the wall.
Yeah, but they paid to get here.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, the Twins are not going to go quietly. Wells has given up 3 consecutive hits after getting the first out. Runners on at first and second. Kadaya gets his second ever postseason RBI. He had one last year.
First time up for Jock Jones. He just missed that curveball. Just missed hitting it out of the ballpark.
First and second. Takes that one to left field. Matsui moving over. Foul territory, puts it away. Runners cannot move up. And Jones is retired. And his struggles continue. 2 for 14 now in this series.
Well, he just missed the hanging breaking ball, so you can understand David Wells going with a fastball away. He just missed it. But he's an aggressive type of hitter, and he lives and dies by being aggressive. He got a pitch out over the plate. He tried to go to left field, just got under it a little bit.
That leaves it up to Koski. Jones is going to go slam the wall a few times up the runway. He really wanted one there. Still first and second. Now there are 2 down. Koski popped out his first time up. And Koski takes that one to center field. Bernie Williams keeps his eye on it and puts it away, and Wells works out of the jam. The Twins pick up a run on 3 hits. They leave 2 on base. Yankees 6, Minnesota 1.
Pressure. Can you give it? Can you take it? Can you feel it? Playoff baseball.
Yankees with a 6-1 lead. I've got to buy David Justice a new suit now. That was a good coffee until I spilled it all over you.
You just did this game for free.
Oh my God! Now I gotta do. I'm gonna have to add on to my hockey schedule. Do some soccer.
You gotta come wash my cars. Look, I'm not letting this go.
You know, he said cars. He didn't say car.
Yeah, cars. Yes.
I saw you eyeing my suit. I knew it was a matter of time before you tried to get me.
Well, at least I waited till the postseason. Sorry about that. Fouled off into the seats, and oh my gosh, was that hit hard. Oh yeah.
He tried to
put us on camera now.
He tried to draw on me the other day, David. Wrote right on my coat with his pen.
I'm gonna. The next 2 years of my career are going to be spent buying coats for the guys I work with.
Mom, I apologize for having wet pants, but Gary Thorne is the culprit. It's not of my own doing.
Oh, it was a whole cup of coffee, too.
I didn't wet my own pants.
Oh. And that ball's going to go foul. Usually I only do that on my scorebook. Every scorebook I have from my years of doing baseball's brown. Now you know why. Could I get another coffee, by the way?
Yeah, here, take mine. Really throw me underneath the bus. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Jeez. All fun and games till you get coffee poured on you.
Could have waited till the 9th, but wouldn't be any fun. Jorge Posada's doubled and scored and is grounded out.
I used to have a score sheet, but don't worry about it.
Major manufacturing going on here. Pitch is taken outside for a ball. Milton on in relief. The third pitcher used, Santana and Rincon. Now Milton is making his first appearance here in this division series. And he's got one task now. That's no more on the board for the Yankees. Foul back by Jorge Posada.
And you can believe the Yankees aren't going to come up to the plate and just say, well, we're winning 6-1, let's shut it down. These guys are going to try to put as many runs on the board as they possibly can.
Get this thing over with. They do not want to play another game, obviously. Get a couple days rest. We can win this before moving on to the League Championship Series. Good fist pitch right there, fouled off by Posada. What a job he has done from Puerto Rico, coming on to be the Yankee regular catcher. 5th in the American League in on-base percentage, 6th in walks this past year. and has taken charge of the pitching staff for the Yankees. Continues in that line of outstanding catchers that the Yankees have had over the years. Taken down low. Yankees at one point, of course, with the likes of Yogi Berra and Elston Howard on the same team. That's not bad. Guys who could catch and play the outfield. They both played both positions, and both of them could hit. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. And let's check in with Dave Ryan.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot. Not a lot to cheer about here. Dugout level for the Minnesota Twins, but by far the most emotional player in the dugout and center field today has been Torrey Hunter, who says growing up in Arkansas, he played high school football. Very intense back then, and it's that sort of football intensity he brings to the dugout and the baseball field, trying to be as vocal as possible. Guys, he's been going up and down when the Twins have been hitting, trying to get his teammates and the coaches involved. Any kind of emotional boost he can give them. Not a lot to cheer about today, though. He's doing his best.
This is where you just dig down and keep going. There will be no tomorrow if you don't come back in this ball game. You leave it out there on the field today. And for some of these Twins, it may be the last time they play.
Well, in a ball game like this for the Minnesota Twins, this is not when you find out what kind of player you are. This is when you find out what kind of person you are.
Yep. Hawkins, Godardo, Stewart, they may be in their final game if they don't win this as a Minnesota Twin. Ground out, they get it. Matsui retired, and there are 2 down. The Twins continue, of course, with one of the smallest payrolls in Major League Baseball, an organization that not many years ago we were all talking about whether or not they were going to be eliminated as a team in the reduction of ball clubs in Major League Baseball, which of course did not happen. Not only didn't it happen, but this ball club all of a sudden has made it back into the playoffs postseason the last 2 years, and packing them in here in postseason games. Milton's breaking ball is into Boone.
And I think the biggest reason that this club is back into the playoffs is they play very well together. They pick each other up. It's not just about pitching and defense and timely hitting with these guys. These guys have a good time playing the game together, and I think that togetherness is what has really driven this ball club. Even with the addition of Shannon Stewart, I think it's just another great clubhouse presence that allows these guys to continue to move forward.
A one hopper to second base. Rivas, Mankiewicz, and a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the 5th coming up. The Twins at home trailing 6-1.
ESPN's presentation of the 2003 MLB Division Series, brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Welcome back, everybody, as the New York Yankees are looking to move to the next series. Wells with a 6-1 lead and the bottom of the 5th inning. Guzman batting in the number 9 spot, flied out his first time up. So far in this 4-game series for the Twins, 1 run per game. That's it. They've got time to do more in this one. But the Yankees in the last 3 have held them to just the 1. Minnesota won the opener 3-1 in New York. Hard hit. Boone's got it and caught it on the fly. He makes sure by making the play over, but third base umpire Randy Marsh said, nope, you got it in the air.
The ball is actually hit pretty good, but Boone is standing right there. You know what? So much has been said about the offensive woes of this Minnesota Twins ball club, and I think we ought to give a little credit to that pitching staff for shutting down this ball club. I mean, Clemens threw an outstanding game. Pettit was outstanding, and Wells today. So give them a little credit for being on top of their games, because as you know, that great pitching will always beat any type of hitting, and they've shown it.
And I think when you look at David Wells and you think, well, maybe he's going to back off a little bit because the lead is so great at this point. David Wells is not just pitching about this ball game. He's pitching for the next series, and he's pitching to get an opportunity to pitch in the World Series. I mean, let's look over there in that Yankee staff. There are a lot of options to go to, and if you don't get it done today, it may be your last start of the year.
As well as, we were talking about their offense continuing to swing the bats well. I mean, they're looking ahead. They're looking ahead. And these at bats are important to prepare themselves for the next round.
They want to go in if they make it to the next round. Obviously, the hottest bats they can get. Boone at third, got it again. Stewart is retired.
I mean, if David Wells goes out there and gives up 5 or 6 runs in the 6th inning or in this inning here, it gives Joe Torre a perfect reason to start Contreras the next time this spot comes up. There's no way David Wells he don't want to give him anything.
Andy Pettitte has been just magnificent this year. Roger Clemens, it looks like he's going to get another chance. Talking to Lee Mazzilli, first base coach there. Broken bat. Soriano. Wells had to get out of the way of the barrel that went right over the mound. So Rivas is retired. That is a 1-2-3 inning and 3 ground outs to get there. There's the Yankee lead, 6-1. The victory here, and they wrap this series up. A reminder, tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN, Monday Night Countdown. It'll be set for the biggest Monday Night Football game of the year. ABC Sports will have it at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Tony Dungy into Tampa Bay, where he used to the Colts. Will take them back there against the champion Bucks, team he used to coach Monday Night Football on ABC. That's a good one. Great matchup. At one foul back. As the Yankees hit here in the 6th inning, Rivera, an intentional walk in that big 6-run 4th inning that backfired as he would come around to score. Johnson followed him with a double. Eric Milton on the mound has walked none and struck out 1 since coming on to get the final out of the 4th inning. Rivera pops that one up and back. No play.
Before, Milton had some problems with his knees, which really was the big issue of why he hasn't pitched so much this year. This guy was a pretty solid starter for this Minnesota Twins ball club.
Hey, he was outstanding. I remember one time coming in here with the Yankees, and Joe Torre gave myself and Paul O'Neill.
Center field, everybody pointing. It's seen and taken by Hunter.
He gave myself and Paul O'Neill the option of facing Milton or Redmond when Redmond was here. I said, I'll just take Redmond, Skip. And the day that Milton pitched, he was throwing 96 miles an hour in the 1st inning. And I was sitting over there on one of the chairs on that circle just smiling at Paul O'Neill. I chose the right guy. I chose Redmond. Because Milton was throwing 96, 97 that day.
Let's go get him, Paul.
And you know, Paulie, you know how intense he is.
Good choice.
A couple of helmets broke that day.
But you're right. Milton, you know, with the injuries this year, obviously wasn't able to help this ball club as much as he could have, but you know they look forward to him being healthy and coming back next year.
That one's going to be foul back. This season, with only 3 games appeared in at the major league level for Milton. It's spring training for him right now. Johnson up, 1 down, nobody on. 2 RBI double came in the 4th inning for him. Milton's pitch is taken down low. 6-1 Yankee lead. Chance to wrap it up. And the Yankees could go home and get a couple of days rest before the American League Championship Series starts. That one to left center field. Good jump by Hunter. And the Gold Glover puts it away.
If you've got any kind of height to the ball and it stays in the ballpark in the outfield, Torrey Hunter is going to run it down. If he can get to if the ball's anywhere out there, whether it's from right center field to left center field, this guy's going to catch it. I don't care if he's got to run through the wall to get it.
Well, he takes a lot of pride in his total defense as well as his hitting, but he prides himself, and he feels any ball that's hit in the air, if it's not out of the ballpark, it's mine. And you like that for your center fielder.
Got that right.
Soriano up the middle. He's got a base hit. So Milton, who'd retired 6 in a row, cannot get that one by Soriano. Soriano's now 2 for 4 in the game with a couple of RBIs. Yankees in that 4th inning. They batted around, and they did it with extra base hits. Williams put that one over the bag. That was good for an RBI. That one driven straight up the middle. Johnson getting out of an 0 for 26 part of it. That one put down the left field line that couldn't be caught. Soriano ended up getting on. He picked up 2 RBIs. By the time it was done, the Yankees had a 6-0 lead at that point.
Big hit by Bernie, but the big knock was Johnson, 2 strikes hitting that ball into the right center field gap, and everybody was scoring.
So the Twins are going to have to make history. If they're going to come back in this game, no team in a division series has overcome a 6-run deficit. Understandable with the kind of pitching, obviously, that you're going to have when you get to the postseason. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. 2 down, no, and a runner on at first base with a single by Soriano. Derek Jeter, long fly ball, way back, left field. Stewart back, looking up, and makes the catch.
Wow, that's oh man.
He robs Jeter of a home run. Shannon Stewart. Well, you get to look at one of the game's great catches right here.
And that's exactly how you draw it up. All the kids at home and all the Sunday league softball players, this is exactly how you want to do it. You want to get back to the wall with plenty of time to set your feet and then jump. Don't drift back to the wall and try to do it all in one motion. Get back there as soon as you can get there and then time your jump.
Kept his eyes on the baseball, used his right hand to find the wall, kept enough space so his shoulder didn't hit the wall to keep him from getting elevated. Makes a great play. He made it look easy, but that's not easy.
Denied the home run to Jeter. Mankiewicz's ball's going down the line and into the seats foul. Mankiewicz has gone 0 for 2, 1 for 13 now in this division series. You got Hunter, Brzezinski due up for the Twins with Precious out. Trickling away right now for Minnesota, down 6-1 in this game. They have stranded 4, 3 in scoring position today. David Wells gets the grounder. Aaron Boone again. Joe Torre cannot say enough about Boone at third base. He just said today, it didn't take me long. He said, I didn't know much about Aaron Boone as a player, especially in the field, because I hadn't seen him play very much being in the National League. Said it only took me about a week and watched him make some key plays at big moments of a game, and I knew we had a really good third baseman. And pitchers and their wives appreciate defense behind their hubs. Swung on and missed.
Yes, they do.
Well, having a good defensive third baseman is very important to your ball club. So many balls that are hit down to third base. I mean, that's why you look at the Oakland A's with Eric Chavez on there, the way he saved the game, actually, game 1 over there in Oakland. You know, you need a guy down there that can catch the ball, and he's in a lineup where he doesn't have to be the guy to drive in all the runs, so he should just be able to relax and do what he does offensively. But defensively, he's been a gem for them at third base.
We were talking about the character of people, and Aaron Boone is one of the finest. That's why he plays the game the way he plays it. He leaves it all out on the field.
Joe Torre was funny talking about him offensively. He said he's going to be fine offensively. He said he's just trying to hit it out of the world right now.
Well, David, you know how difficult is it to become a Yankee? I mean, that's tough.
Well, I mean, it's very tough. Anytime you go to another team, everybody's looking at you. You want to hit every ball out the ballpark to let everybody know, hey, this is why you're getting me.
Yeah.
You know, but when you go into New York, that's just no environment like that one.
Derek Jeter, speaking of good D in the infield, makes the play, and there are 2 down.
I think it's actually easier to be a rookie and come up with the Yankees and come to the big leagues than it is to be a veteran guy and get traded for, and that expectation is through the roof.
Jeff, I don't know if you can put being a Yankee and easy in the same sentence, whether you're a rookie or a veteran. I mean, anytime you have 20 members of the media daily in the clubhouse, everything that you do is magnified, an owner so passionate, you know, about his ball club, the storied history that they have, you don't get a break. I mean, when you're a Yankee 24/7, heck, probably 365 days a year.
Well, you know, you walk into that locker room and everybody says, well, it's very stoic. There's not a whole lot of conversation going on. Well, they're talking to us and to the newspapers and everybody. They're tired of talking.
Yeah. That was what I asked Boone about that today. I asked Aaron, I said, how do you like it in New York? And he said, I love it. He said, I love being there, love playing there. But he said, boy, you learn in a hurry about this coverage. He said, if you're anywhere around your locker, every writer assumes you must be there to talk to them. So he says you kind of run to your locker, grab your glove, run out onto the field on those days where you'd rather not be talking. What the Yankees have done last year, their starters struggled. This year, they've gone 2-1, an ERA of 2.0. Clemens with a great start yesterday, getting the win. Joe Torre said today, I said, why the big difference? He said, location. said, I watched these same guys last year pitch in the postseason, and they couldn't put the baseball where they wanted to in the strike zone. This year, every one of them's got location.
I was talking to Minkiewicz about this guy right here, Andy Pettit, and he said, you know, he said, JB, when he throws the ball away from you and he can locate that cutter down and away from you left-handed, you got no chance. You got no chance. He said you can't swing at it and you can't hit it. And he said that's what he did to us.
And one of the reasons why you have no chance because he's just throwing you a four-seam fastball inside,
right under your neck,
you know, chest high, just telling you that might be the next pitch. Then he throws that slider away. You have no chance.
Another ground ball. Jeter will try to cut it off, and he got in the way of Soriano. Soriano couldn't see it. It'll be a base hit. Jeter couldn't get to it. Brzezinski's on, second hit of the game.
Well, the first look at it, I thought Jeter was actually going to take it coming across. See, it looked like he pulled up right there for a second. Now, whether he pulled up because he just didn't want to take it away from Soriano, whatever the miscommunication was, they'll definitely talk about that one.
I think Jeter thought that he could get it because of the big hop, and then right at the last second, he realized, I'm not going to get to this ball. Well, at that point, it's too late. But I'd rather have a mistake like that that's made aggressively than just sitting there and saying, well, I can't catch it. I'm not going to try this.
And he's the one who needs to make the play on that if he can, because he's going to the bag and can make the good throw, because it was going to be a bang-bang play at best. Wells now with the runner on, and swung on and foul tipped into the mitt.
I don't know with that big hop, even if Soriano catches that ball, that he can catch the ball and make the throw in time to first base to get him anyway.
Don't think so. And Brzezinski gets a single out of it. So he's on at first base with 2 down. 6 hits in the ball game now for the Twins. Good pitch by Wells, getting it down and in on the fist to him. Wells has struck out 4.
There's another breaking ball down. This pitch has been money for him all game. And like JB was saying, he's pitching right now, not just to win this ball game, but to pitch further into these playoffs, because Contreras is down there lurking, wanting an opportunity. But that's a pitch, that curveball low, that has struck out several guys and is continuing to work for him.
Kedaya swings and misses. Posada's got to find the baseball. He does. He'll make the play and get the out. 5 strikeouts for Wells, no runs, a base hit, 1 left on. Yankees up by 5. The Yankees with a chance to wrap up this division series. They've got the 6-1 lead. And looking on is the boss. He was here yesterday, George Steinbrenner of the Yankees. Looks like Bob Shepard, the PA announcer, sitting next to him. Son of a gun. That one taken for a strike. Guess that was not Shep who was sitting there, though. It just looked like him. The great voice, longtime voice of Yankee Stadium and the New York Football Giants. Yankees go back to work here as we go to the 7th inning. Jason Giambi delivered the double and scored in that big inning when the Yankees scored all their runs in the 4th inning. In fact, all the runs in this game were scored in the 4th inning.
Milton has pitched so well, even though they have been behind, and it's probably been a little bit easier for him, if you want to say facing the Yankees is easy, but he has pitched very well since he's been in the ballgame. Just makes you wonder, had he been healthy and had enough innings behind him this year, if he couldn't have helped them a little bit more in that starting rotation during the postseason.
That one is popped up. Bermuda triangle, and that's going to drop in. Down to second base, throw not in time, gets away, backed up by Brzezinski. And the fans upset that the out wasn't made. 4 Minnesota Twins were there. None of them could get it.
You got 4 guys going full speed to this baseball. This is just a ball that's in a place I don't think any of them could have caught it. Guzman did a great job to try to get to it. If Torrey Hunter can catch this ball, I guarantee you he's going to be calling it right there, and he may have. Guzman may not have even heard him because that ball looks like it falls right beside Torrey Hunter out there.
And he hustled his way around to get the 2-bagger. It is a double.
If you hit him right there, is he out? Is that how you do it?
Wrong rules, different game. So nobody out. Runner on at second base. And Bernie Williams takes a strike on the inside corner. Well, the Yankees have been plying the doubles here today. Bernie Williams.
He's hitting again with a guy at second base. This is incredible. I guess that's what you want when you're hitting in the 4th spot. That's what you're supposed to do. That's money.
Get those RBIs. He has picked up one in the game. Williams pops that one up. Right field. Jock Jones dances under it and puts it away. Throw to third with the runner staying at second base.
And Bernie's a little bit upset right there that he didn't at least get the runner over to third base, because you still want to keep playing the game. So you want to keep the same good habits of moving runners over, getting them over to third base, less than 2 outs. Keep working on your game, because this game is pretty much over. I mean, just the feeling that you sense. I mean, just looking at both teams and the way the game is developing. But you have to continue to play the game the right way, because you're going into the next division. You want to keep it going.
Bernie Williams back, not happy as he did not get that runner moved over to third. Now Jorge Posada with one away. Posada's had a double. He has scored 1 for 3 in the ball game, and punches that one foul down the right field line.
I think that's a great point, David, because that's winning baseball, and it's about unselfish baseball, because you're trying to get Giambi to third base for an RBI, possibly for Posada, and in turn all of that works together to make championships. Guys that play the game that way, they're usually playing, and we're usually putting them on TV in October.
You're right. I mean, this is a very unselfish ball club, and he is upset. I mean, he knows they're up 6-1. He's upset because he didn't move his teammate over for Posada to have an easy opportunity at an RBI.
How many times do we see other ball clubs? You're in this situation, you're way up, guys trying to hit the ball to the moon, pops up to the infield, guy stays at second base, you don't score a run, your teammate doesn't get an RBI, then you've got some friction, then you're not going to play winning baseball.
The Yankees don't do that. Good jam shot right there. Foul tipped into the mitt. Brzezinski able to hang on to it. Strikeout for Milton. That'll be his second of the game. I want to remind you that an all-new season of Sports Century is going to continue on ESPN Classic. A look at the glory and controversy surrounding the first century of Yankee baseball. It's a 2-part series that begins tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, examining the great moments and the great names in Yankee history. Tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sports Century. That's on ESPN Classic. Plenty of material there. Just take it inside.
Tell you another thing too, in that situation with Bernie, is not only do you not get him over to third base for your teammate, but you have to remember that you want your team hitting on all cylinders going into the next round, feeling confident in all areas, and you yourself want to be confident in those areas.
Down the line, curving foul, and Stewart unable to get to it.
And also, you have to remember another thing too. Yeah, this game is 6-1, but you never know. The Twins might make an attack here. What if they score 5 runs? There was an opportunity for you to get your 7th run. So like I say, you want to keep playing the game, and keep piling on the runs if you can, because you never know. Funnier things have happened in this game, and you just never know. As long as there's outs still out there, anything can happen.
Well, that's why they keep playing. Otherwise, they'd have just shut it down in the 5th.
No white flag rule. That one's taken up high. Matsui, who's had a double and an RBI, is 1 for 3 in the game, 4 hits, 13 at bats in the series.
And too, David, there's a pride issue that goes into this too. Every time you come to the play, there's an internal battle between you and the pitcher. You don't want somebody to get the best of you anytime.
Left-hander Milton. Matsui takes that to center field. Hit it hard. Hunter back. Hunter at the warning track. Hunter's got it.
He's so good.
Appropriately named for a center fielder who hauls in all prey that comes in that area.
Reese Davis and Harold Reynolds back with you. A's and Red Sox. This is how Boston pushed it to a Game 5. David Ortiz coming up large. The 8th inning of Game 4, Harold.
What a great at-bat by Ortiz. He's been scuffling the whole series and fought off a couple tough pitches and got one he could hammer.
In fact, he'd been 0 for the series, and then that Red Sox bullpen continued to do good work.
Well, you never know who's going to close it out for him. We saw Pedro up in the bullpen the other night, and Williamson comes in and closes it. We've seen Derek Lowe in this series. Boston's thrown everybody in this series.
Go inside the series, some of the numbers. Todd Walker's been terrific so far as we head toward that Game 5, which will be Pedro against Zito. The A's, last 8 opportunities they've had to close the series, over. Chance number 9 comes tomorrow.
So there's only one team so far knows it's moving on. The Florida Marlins, maybe the most surprising of all, as they had that win in their series. The Yankees got a chance to move on if they can get a victory here. Andy Pettitte, great pitching, 7 innings. Just gave up the 4 hits. Roger Clemens yesterday, 7 innings, 5 hits and a run. David Wells today, just a run on 6 hits. Let's get down to Dave Ryan. Dave.
All right, Gary, before the game, we talked about David Wells' dominance of these Minnesota Twins. Lifetime as a Yankee, 6-0, a 0.68 ERA. This year, 2 complete games, just 10 hits allowed and 1 earned run. He's been dominant again today. And talking to Shannon Stewart of the Minnesota Twins before the game, they wanted to try to lay off the high fastball to avoid popping up a lot of pitches. He said, for the most part, Wells would come at them. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. Good strategy, but really nothing has worked out. He's been so effective and around the plate. 6 hits given up all game, in control, guys.
And that is David Wells. You're not going to get any freebies. He hasn't walked anybody today. 5 strikeouts. That one a blooped off the fist. Jeter with a patented running throw. And Johnson hangs on. Oh, mama.
Did you see that? That's a great
He
play.
does this
All the
on
time.
a lot of occasions.
He's the only guy that can make this play, and I've seen him make it 1,000 times. You want to understand how tough this play is. All of his momentum is going away from first base. He's jumping and throwing all arm strength back across the infield with some zip on it.
That was a great play, not only by Jeter, but that pick by Johnson at first base. That's the Yankees.
Trying to stay away from a collision and made the play, and all Jones can do is laugh about that when he looks out at Jeter.
What are you going to do there? You just shake your head.
But you know what? You hear it all the time. Teams that make plays win. That's making a play right there.
Take a little more stuffing out of you if you're in Minnesota. That one to left field. Everybody points. Matsui sees it and puts it away. Klosky retired. 2 down here in the 7th inning. Wells stays.
Well, David Wells has been in a groove all day. You talk to any pitcher, when they have something working for them, they stick with it until they have to adjust. His breaking ball is breaking low like that. He's got 3 of his 5 strikeouts with that breaking ball in the dirt.
Being able to throw that breaking ball with that type of consistency, that's why he can pitch up in the strike zone more with his fastball than most pitchers can. You don't know which one you're going to get.
See, he doesn't walk a lot of guys, but what he does is he throws a lot of quality strikes early in the at-bat, and then he relies on you to chase. And guys today have been fishing at that breaking ball that's 58 feet, 59 feet. It looks good coming out of his hand, but it never gets there into the strike zone.
Talked about how efficient he is during the season. David Wells only 3.4 pitches per at-bat for the whole season. That's the 2nd best number in the American League. Halladay with Toronto was the only one who was more efficient at getting the outs and moving the game along. So you don't walk anybody. You don't throw many pitches. You throw first strikes. You win.
And when you pitch with that type of consistency, that's why you get that kind of defense that we just saw from Derek Jeter and that pick from Nick Johnson at first base. You work quick, you throw strikes, they make good plays behind.
And Wells has 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning. Guzman is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Takes that one to left center. It's playable. Williams says I got it, but Matsui came over right in front of him. A 1-2-3 inning. 7 gone. 6-1 Yankees. Minnesota last time eliminated in a 5-game series at home was by the Orioles back '69. Yankees trying to do it here. Welcome back, everybody. And this one has been a game where we've seen struggles to find the baseball guys, but at other times great defensive plays.
Well, we just had a play earlier with Matsui and Bernie Williams. Ball hit into the outfield. I know they're probably each of them are calling it, but you can't hear out there. It's so loud in here, and you can't see the thing either. Almost a collision.
Well, see, that's a play there, though, that Bernie being a center fielder, you have to have that communication. You got a guy from Japan and a guy from Puerto Rico. I guarantee you they have not had that communication in terms of who's going to take which type of plays. And, you know, fortunately, the game is not very close. and the decibel levels are not, you know, off the charts, because that would have been a critical play if this game was much closer. Because that's a particular play, it's Bernie's all the way. But Matsui, on some of his fly balls, looks as if he's having a tough time picking up the ball, period.
Right.
Whereas Bernie looks like he's more comfortable picking up the ball. Bernie actually was waving him off and calling for it. Matsui went at it like he was the only guy in the outfield.
Well, how bad would that have been had those two guys collided in a 6-1 ball game, and one of them gets hurt and can't play the next round?
But you know what, Matsui made a very athletic play on that, actually. By him cutting in front and jumping in front of Bernie, that was a very athletic play, to jump in front of him and catch it. So he knew Bernie was there, but he probably couldn't hear him, and so therefore he figured, I'm going to go catch this, and although I do recognize that my center fielder's right beside me.
That's going to be into left field for a base hit. Aaron Boone is on. His first hit of the ball game is a leadoff single here in the 8th inning for the Yankees. Great football coming your way tonight. A great matchup. These two teams have one of the outstanding rivalries in National Football League history. It's the Browns and the Steelers tonight at 8:30. ESPN's got it available on ESPN HD. All starts with NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite at 7:30. That's all tonight. We hope all of you having a great weekend. We thank you for joining us here as our coverage of the division series continues. Teams battling to get into the next round that will be beginning on Tuesday and Wednesday of this coming week. Runner goes, throw down, not in time. Stolen base, Aaron Boone.
I guarantee nobody expected him to go on this one, but he gets a great jump.
It's a great jump right there, and sinker down. That's a tough pitch for Brzezinski to throw him out on. And David, you talked about this earlier. The Yankees aren't quitting. They continue to play the game.
These are the playoffs, and as long as there's outs remaining, I'm sure there's some guys that are probably upset that he actually stole there with this type of lead. But hey, you know, like I said, what if Minnesota scores 5 runs next inning?
Yeah, 23 stolen bases during the season, Boone did, and they're bunting. LaTroy Hawkins looking for the play at third, couldn't get the ball out of his glove, whips it off the facade. That will score Boone, backed up by Jones. And the Yankees have a 7-1 lead.
Now that's what I call a manufactured run. You put a little pressure on the defense and look what happens. But David, this is something that the Yankees may have to do. They win this ball game, they may have to do this in the next round, and I think this gives them the confidence to know we can steal a base, we can get a bunt down, a good bunt down the third baseline, and this is what happens.
See, I totally agree. I mean, they're doing many things well in this game. They've gotten 2 out hits, a great pitching performance by David Wells, great defensive play by Jeter. They're hitting on all cylinders in this particular game, but you're right. These are the things that they may have to do at the next level. They're doing them now. It only adds to their confidence going into the next round that they're capable of playing great baseball. And that's what they're doing now. And this is a very tough team to beat when they're hitting on all cylinders.
Keep applying the pressure.
Up 7-1. They've got 11 hits in the game now. No RBI on it. There is a base hit credited to Rivera. So now everybody in the Yankee lineup has picked up at least 1 hit in the game. That one to left field, misjudged Stewart. That one is caught. How did he get that? Tries to double it up. Got him. Relay throw. Guzman to Rivas.
How did he catch that ball?
Well, this is what speed does for you. But this is what speed does for you. This ball was absolutely hammered to left. Yeah, he came in a little bit, but he made a quick adjustment, and because of his speed and his athletic ability, he was able to get back and make the play.
I didn't think there was any way he was going to catch that ball. It was slicing away from him.
Joe Torre's out to argue the call at second base. What a play. Stewart misjudged it, and somehow still able to get back to haul it in, as David said, with his speed. And then Guzman and Rivas were ready to take the throw at second.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you what's going through his mind. Oh my God, I just made a bad move forward. I got to get back. So now you're worried about maybe not getting there. This is a very athletic play, but he made the adjustment. Yeah, the first route wasn't the right pass route, but the second route he made, the adjustment was outstanding. Then he gets it in very quickly, and they get the double play.
Rivera, very close play, called out at second base. And Soriano up now with a run in the inning and 2 down.
That's why these clubs are in the playoffs, because we're seeing defense. You're not going to see this every day. This is tremendous. Well, those plays are unbelievable.
We've had a highlight reel of defensive plays made in this game. Yet the Yankees still able to build to that 7-1 lead. Soriano getting to it with a couple of hits in the ball game, as he has gone 2 for 4 today. Struck out his first 2 times up, then put the hits together. And that one is swung on and missed.
I can't believe he caught that ball.
No, I was sure that was going to the wall and around it.
Left-handed hitter slicing away from him. He makes a bad move in, and he still makes the play, and then has the presence of mind to come up firing and hit the cutoff man right on the money.
But he would not have made that play if it weren't for his speed. Wow. And see, you got a lot of speed in this outfield. This is a very good defensive outfield because of their speed.
Base is empty here. The fastball by LaTroy Hawkins misses up high. Milton worked 3 in the 3rd innings, gave up 3 hits. Good job by him. A couple of strikeouts. 4th pitcher to be used in the ball game. The pen for the Twins in this series has done well. They've got an ERA of about 1.65 now, but the starters have not been able to hold the Yankees down. Way up high by Hawkins. 3 ball, 2 strikeout. Hawkins, one of those players who may be in his final game as a Twin if the Twins lose this ball game and end their season. Wow, did he chase one up that time? Hawkins gets the strikeout. Stewart makes an outstanding play, but when it's all said and done, the Yankees got the run, and it's 7-1. Twins fans trying to rev it up. David Wells trying to shut it down. That one fouled off outside of 3rd as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning here in the Dome. Shannon Stewart leading it off, 1 for 3 in the game, a double.
Starting pitching for the New York Yankees yesterday through 7. Clemens 99 pitches, 71 strikes. Today Wells just as good. 82 pitches through 7 innings, 59 have been strikes.
That's bad for
pound in the strike zone.
Bad for a couple of old guys, huh? Roger Clemens yesterday in winning that game became the oldest starting pitcher ever to win a postseason game at the age of 41. If David Wells can win this game, he will become the 4th oldest pitcher ever to win a postseason game. Guardado's up in the bullpen. Roger Clemens, the winner yesterday, and it looks like his career's not over. Swung on and missed. I asked Mel Stottlemyre today, is there any chance you think Clemens would come back in light of the way he's finishing out this season? I said, would you go after him to try and get him to come back? Stottlemyre said, I don't think there's any way he's going to come back and pitch again. But what he might end up doing is going to the Olympic team. Play made by Boone. Stewart retired. Let's check in with Dave Ryan. Dave.
All right, Gary, thank you. This is about the only section in the Metrodome that's been cheering all day long. Nita Wells, Dave Wells' wife is here. Earlier today, you wouldn't speak to us because you were so worried about superstition. Now, where does that come from? Why decline the interview earlier today, Nina?
You know what? I am just very, very superstitious. David is a little superstitious. And on the day that he pitches, I really just don't like to talk to anybody. I don't talk to the press. I don't talk to the guy sitting next to me. And I just try to kind of tune out everything that's going on around me so I can concentrate on what David's doing and support him.
We're glad you talked to us, though. Who's more nervous, you or your husband, on game day, especially in the playoffs?
I don't know. My hands are pretty sweaty, and I'm still shaking, and we've got a pretty good lead so far, but I'm still very, very nervous. I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs, and so we just got to keep our fingers crossed until it's all over.
What has his demeanor been like the last couple days leading up to a big start like this? And now it looks like the Yanks will advance on to the ALCS.
Well, you know, David's just a really kind of calm, mellow guy through the whole thing. He doesn't say a whole lot, and he doesn't like to talk about it either. So we just wait until game day, and then when it's all over, then we talk about it and get excited or not excited, you know, depending on what happens.
A lot to cheer about in the Yankee section, Gary.
That by right. A 200 game winner, 200 wins, 128 losses for him in the regular season. His career 18-6 lifetime against Minnesota.
Another game, no walks.
Just the usual. That pitch is taken down low for a ball. Wells has 8 wins, 2 losses in the postseason, going for his 9th postseason win. And right now, a 7-1 lead to work with for the 40-year-old left-hander.
You know, a lot was said about whether or not he would get this start. I mean, he has pitched in so many big games. Joe Torre has nothing but confidence in his abilities to go out here and have outings like this in big games. I pretty much thought it was a no-brainer starting Boomer Wells in a game like this.
I think Joe did too. He as much as said so to us yesterday. He said, I just didn't announce it. That's all. I don't think there was ever much of a question in his mind that Wells would go. And I asked him today about even pitching on an artificial carpet with a ground ball pitcher. He said it doesn't matter. The way Wells pitches, he'll find a way. So you're right. Great confidence. And Boone sure has helped. Gobbling up everything down there. And they're at 2 away. I want to remind you this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game can't be disseminated without express written consent. Don't forget, Major League Baseball's got World Series tickets for life being given away. The winning hologram numbers will be announced games 1 through 4 of the 2000 World Series, and you can visit your neighborhood Radio Shack to find out how you can get a chance to win. 2 down, nobody on. Mankiewicz 0 for 3 today. Mankiewicz is now 1 for 14 in this series.
David, you were talking about earlier about David Wells bouncing those breaking balls. When you're in the 8th inning and you can still throw your breaking ball for a strike like he just did to Mankiewicz, that's why you get all those swings down there in the dirt. You as a hitter, you know if a guy's got command enough to throw a strike, you're thinking in your head it's going to be a strike every time.
But you're right. But see, what he does so well is early in the at-bats, he gets strike 1 on you, whether it's a curveball, changeup, or fastball. He's getting that strike 1. Now he puts you on the defense. Now, when he gets you 2 strikes, now he drops that 1 in the dirt, and guys have a tendency to swing at it.
Just out of the reach of Jeter. That's so he will play it back in. Mankiewicz is on with 2 down in the 8th. And now they're going to see where the fuel gauge is on Wells.
Well, he tries to time it and just missed just a little bit out of his reach.
Wells pitched 4 complete games and 1 shutout this year. Joe Torre goes out to have a word with him because obviously now the Yankees talked about how the players are playing, thinking about the next round. Well, Joe Torre is also managing, thinking about the next round. He does not want to get too many pitches out of that arm of Wells, whom he will use again, and really wants to know how he feels.
And he also probably wants to get some of these guys in the bullpen in some ball games, get their feet wet, get them out there, whether it's 1 pitch, 1 inning, whatever it is. But I tell you what, getting David Wells out of a ball game is like pulling teeth. He does not want to come out.
Joe Torre figuring out what he wants to do at first base there. He was putting Nick Johnson over to hold the runner.
Now, if he had a left-handed hitter up right here, Nick Johnson probably wouldn't be holding him on. But because there's a greater chance of Torrey Hunter pulling the ball, they figure he's not going to shoot one to that hole.
That one Jeter dives for, and it goes underneath his glove. Runner going to third, played in by Bernie Williams. That is a base hit. Hunter's got 3 in the game, 3 for 4. That looked like a ball that Jeter would ordinarily come up with.
Well, but you got to understand, and I still wonder if he's still feeling any mental effects from that shoulder injury, because this is a play that we've seen him come up with thousands of times. But you have to understand, it would be only normal to have some type of apprehension when you hurt your shoulder the way he hurt it this year. And he's a tough guy. He may be still feeling it a little bit, and diving like that and the pressure that it puts on his shoulder, you know, it just creates a different type of dive for him.
And David Wells has completed his day's work, and a good day it was. White will be coming out of the bullpen. Wife Nina up and applauding. David Wells gets congratulations from the Yankees. And a heck of a performance. Again, didn't walk anybody. 5 strikeouts, leaves with a 7-1 lead. And to his wife. Minnesota making a final run at it. There are the old guys, Clemens and Wells, who can pitch. Wells out of there with a chance to win it. 2 pretty good lines, and they're back-to-back games.
40, not too bad.
Wells has not walked anybody in his last 5 starts, covering 37 1/3 innings.
That's a little experience for you sitting over there, isn't it?
Wow. A lot of innings, a lot of wins. Pizinski up. Gabe White out of the bullpen. Down low for a ball. 2 on. 2 down, 8th inning. White had pitched with Cincinnati, came over to the Yankees, and with the Yankees appeared in 12 games, went 2-1. Mankiewicz had a single. Hunter a single. Strike taken. Brzezinski with a couple of singles in his last couple of at-bats.
And the Yankees were able to come up with some big 2-out hits. Now Minnesota has an opportunity to do the same thing and get themselves back in this ball game.
First and third, the runners. White's pitch is taken outside. Yankees out hitting the Twins 11-8 and leading 7-1.
Gabe White just trying to keep the ball away from Brzezinski, keep the ball in the ballpark.
Brzezinski fouls that back with a big cut.
Watch Derek Jeter on this ball. This ball goes right underneath his glove. And if you look from behind, you notice that Derek doesn't give a full extension there. And I think that goes back to what, David, you were talking about. I still think that that left shoulder of his is still bothering him a little bit. If it's not, then you get a full extension and you can land on that shoulder. But you get a full extension right there and you land on that shoulder, we may see him walk off cradling that shoulder like we did at the beginning of this season. And that's the last thing that you want if you're a Yankees fan, if you're George Steinbrenner, or if you're Joe Torre.
And I tell you what, every time he dives, I guarantee you George Steinbrenner and Joe Torre cringe every time he dives for anything.
Brzezinski waiting. 2-2 delivery. That one grounded back to the mound. Play will be made by White. Brzezinski's retired, and so are the Twins. No runs, couple of hits. 2 are left on. The 9th inning coming up. For David Wells, a chance to pick up victory number 9 in the postseason. Between innings, Aaron Boone made a lot of plays for him at third base as he makes sure he thanks the guys behind him as they came off. And he will wait and watch now as we go to the 9th inning. The Yankees 3 outs away from moving on to the American League Championship Series. Eddie Guardado's first pitch, another one. Stewart back. Jeter's got this one. Goodbye, home run. Derek Jeter could have had 2 today. He got robbed by Stewart once, but not that time. And Guardado's first pitch ends up in the seats.
When you stay back as well as Derek Jeter does, always trying to drive the ball the other way, you get something hanging in the strike zone. A lot of hitters will pull that ball foul. He stays right on it.
I tell you what, the Yankees are looking like a team that's on a mission. I mean, this is exactly how you want to go into the next round.
Jeter 12 postseason home runs now, and the Yankees have an 8-1 lead.
It's like you were talking about earlier, David. Keep playing the game. Keep the adrenaline up. Keep the focus up. Keep the concentration up. Doesn't matter if it's 2-1 or if it's 15-1. It's playoff time.
And the Yankees have really come around. They lost that first game at home 3-1 as Hawkins beat Mussina, and then have obviously won the next 2. With Pettit over Radke and Clemens yesterday over Kyle Loesch. And now today, after the 4-1 and 3-1 wins, they've got the 8-1 lead in this game with only 3 outs to go for Minnesota. Called strike 3. Giambi gone.
Well, Guardado has done a great job for the Twins this year, closing out ball games. Guy that's been a lifetime setup man. In the last few years, he has put together a tremendous seasons closing out ball games for these guys.
And will he be back next year with Minnesota? He's one of the names that's up for grabs as to whether or not the Twins will get him re-signed.
You're right. I mean, this Twins team may have a different face next year. These fans may be seeing for the last time this team that they've come to support and love over the past few years. There can be some different faces next year.
The Twins cannot afford to keep all of the stars that they have playing right now. Just a financial matter that they can't do it. So Ron Gardenhire has taken this club in his 2 years as manager to the postseason. We'll have a different club to work with next year, and who stays and who goes will be decisions made in the offseason by the Twins. And they are never easy ones for the small market clubs in particular. Barry Ryan, who is the GM sitting next to us here, he will be heavily involved in those decisions on what the contracts will look like. Foul back. In fact, there's been some discussion about whether or not the Yankees are going to be involved with some of these people. Guardado, for one, they might be interested in. Stewart, everybody's going to be interested in.
Red Sox would like to have a left-handed.
Red Sox would like a left-handed closer. Yep. So there'll be teams out there looking, while the Twins obviously want him to stay here if there's a way they can do it. That one hit hard to center field. Hunter had moved over that way back near the wall, and hauls it in. Bernie Williams out of there, 2 down, top of the 9th inning.
You know, when you talk about these small market teams, what's so important is when you know that you're not going to keep guys once they become free agents, your scouting department and your minor league coaches have to be outstanding, because you have to draft the guys that you feel that you can get to the big leagues quicker. Not only that, you have to have coaches in the minor leagues that can develop these guys quickly and get them to the big leagues. Then you're only going to have them for 6 years, but you got to have another turnover coming. So that coaching staff in the minor leagues, those managers that you have, and whoever's in your scouting department have to do an outstanding job of scouting the right type of players when you know they're not going to be with you for a very, very long time.
Can't afford to make mistakes.
Yep. And then you hope, while you're able to get a core together for 3-4 years, you hope that core can produce a winner for you before the turnover happens again.
Exactly, because then here comes another core.
Yeah.
You know, and it keeps going that way.
Well, that's what they've done in Oakland. They're basically going the draft route of drafting college players because they can get them to the big leagues faster.
Yep.
See, teams like that, their window of opportunity for them to win World Series are very small because of the turnover. Whereas a team like the Yankees, because of the financial capabilities, you know, they can replenish, and their window is always wide open, you know, to win. But teams that are only small markets, the windows are very small.
That one punched in the air to center is going to fall in for a base hit. So Jorge Posada's on his second hit of the ball game. He's had a 2 for 5. Run in here in the 9th inning on the home run by Derek Jeter off Guardado, and now Posada keeps the inning alive with a single. And the Yankees have piled up 13 hits in this game. They have got the offense going. Their starting pitching's been magnificent. It is basically running on all cylinders right now. Nick Johnson got out of his 0-for. Matsui has had a home run coming yesterday. Picked up an RBI double today.
It's going to be very scary for whoever they play in the next round, because you got your offense starting to click. Everybody in the lineup getting a hit today, and the pitching's been outstanding. They're getting the pitching. Now they're starting to get some hitting, some big 2-out hits today. If the defense shows up, this is going to be a very tough team to beat.
And the team they're going to play is not going to have the rest, because Oakland and Boston are going to play a game 5 and travel cross country to do it. And then somebody's going to have to come back to New York to play in the opener. Back cross country again. That one fouled off.
I probably wouldn't mind making a cross-country flight if I could play in the ALCS. I think I'd be all right.
Yeah, you'd be.
I'd figure out a way.
But the advantage is definitely to the Yankees.
You got it.
And Rivera is sitting and watching. He's had a couple of great 2-inning performances in this series to get 2 saves. Runner on at first base. That one swung on and missed. Matsui goes down swinging a run in. Couple of hits, 1 left on. The Yankees need 3 outs to eliminate the Twins.
Pressure. Can you give it? Can you take it? Can you feel it? Playoff baseball.
And now for the Twins, only 3 outs to work with. Their season's over. Foul back. White stays on to do the pitching here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Sports Center coming up. All the day's news and lots of it from a lot of different sports. Sports Center coming up after our ball game here. Yankees have the 8-1 lead. Kanayer takes a strike on the outside corner. The Yankees, their 12th American League East title. The 6 straight times that they have won that. First time they've ever played Minnesota in the division series. Yankees in their 9th division series, have won 5 and lost 3. Minnesota won their division series last year. The Yankees, with that long string of pennants and World Series championships, looking to get another shot at it. And there's one of those outs they need. White gets the strikeout. Kadaya retired, 1 away. Clinching the best of 5 when losing game 1. I believe this is going to be the 5th time the Yankees will have done it that way, including 2001 against Oakland. Andy Pettitte was up and throwing on the side between innings here today as he gets ready to work in the American League Championship Series. Big bounder. And there are 2 down. And Johnson makes the play. Jones retired. And after Minnesota got 3 runs in game 1, they have scored 1 run in each of the next 3. Unless they do something with the 1 more out they have here. The Yankees will be looking for another pennant. They have won 38 American League flags, 26 World Championships.
Talent and fundamental baseball. We've seen it both tonight, both on the mound, defensively in the field. Swung the bats very well, very aggressive on the base pass. That's why you win.
2 down, nobody on in the 9th inning. Pitch is taken outside for a ball. Koski. He has popped out and flied out twice. The bats came alive and the starting pitching stayed magnificent in this series for the Yankees. And Minnesota, 90 wins, won their division by 4. About to see their season come to a close. Coming into the series, they had lost only 3 postseason games here ever. The Yankees will have beaten them twice in a row here with a victory today.
Twins put together some kind of second half. I know after the first half there was, and I was included in that bunch. I didn't think they were going to be able to put it together, especially when they started talking contracts and guys not being able to stay here. They have put it together.
They won 46 games and lost only 23 after the All-Star break in order to take that division title.
But there won't be any huge celebrating. I mean, this is a team that's accustomed to winning. The Yankees. They'll come in there and give a couple high fives. They'll take a bottle of champagne, maybe open 1 or 2. But, you know, it won't be any of that crazy celebrating. They're on a mission, you know, and to them, only celebrating is winning the World Series.
That one's going to be a base hit out of the reach of Jeter. Matsui over to get it. Koski is on his first hit of the game. Comes with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th, and Guzman will get an at bat.
Nobody wants to make the last out when it's time to go home.
Yankees with a 6-run 4th inning. Big blows. Williams an RBI. Matsui an RBI double. A bases loaded 2 RBI double by Johnson. Soriano a 2 RBI single. And then they tacked on another run with Jeter's home run and an unearned run that came in the 8th inning that Boone scored. That one to center field, backing deep, and the Yankees have won it. They go to the American League Championship Series as they beat Minnesota 8-1.
What a great job by David Wells today, really attacking the strike zone, throwing a lot of strikes, really not hurting himself at all. He didn't walk anybody, kept his team just relaxed at the plate, and these Yankees, they swung the bat. This is a great ball club.
Hey, the Yankees showed you what a championship team is made of. You got a guy to go out there and give you a quality start in David Wells. Big timely hitting. They put the pressure on this Minnesota ball club the whole game. Then you see some tremendous defensive plays made by them. They did everything big and small to win this ball game. And as a result, they're moving on. And I tell you, whoever they're playing in the next round better watch out, because this team looks like it's hitting on all cylinders.
Even in the 8th inning, when they were asked to sacrifice bunt in the bottom of the order, the Yankees put that fundamental type of baseball together. And that's why this club wins. You don't hurt yourself by walking people, and you do things at the plate that are productive.
Bernie Williams, questioned all season about how well he was playing, came through with a very big series, as he had a 1 for 5 today, 6 hits and 15 at bats in the series. Jeter a home run, Matsui a home run in the series. Soriano Couple of RBIs in this ball game. They have gotten it done, and they will now await the winner of Oakland-Boston, and we will check in with Dave Ryan. Dave.
And the Yankee captain, shortstop Derek Jeter. First question, how's the shoulder? We saw you dive in the last inning, and then the home run swing.
It's fine. That's nothing to talk about.
Is there going to be a big celebration? Dave Justice on the air just said a moment ago, you guys are so accustomed to winning. Are you going to pop some champagne bottles?
Not this group. You know, this group right here hasn't won. So, you know, this is something worth celebrating. It's not easy to get to this point in the season. And, you know, we haven't been here in a couple of years.
Derek, did losing the first game of the series provide motivation for the rest of the way? You pretty much shut down the Twins after that, winning 3 straight.
Well, I mean, you got to keep things in perspective. It was just one game. And when you get to this point in the season, you don't need any extra motivation. The motivation is an opportunity to win a championship.
A little bit like yesterday. You took the crowd out with a big inning. How important was that today?
Well, that was the key. I mean, we've heard so much about this crowd, and this crowd is great, but you got to remember, we play in front of the greatest fans in the world.
Did it give you confidence earlier, Derek, knowing that David Wells was on his game, a little bit like Rocket Clemens yesterday?
Yeah, you can't say enough about our starters. You know, they really dominated in this series. Even in the first game, we weren't able to score some runs, but Moose pitched as good as you could ask.
3-6 against Oakland this year, 10-9 against the arch rival Red Sox. Who do you prefer in the next round?
It doesn't really make a difference. They're both great teams, and, you know, we just enjoy this one for a couple of days.
Congratulations. Enjoy it. Okay.
Magnificent. Joe Torre's club will move on. They head back to New York. They will have the advantage home field wise moving into the next round. Brian Cashman, the GM, on the phone calling the boss saying, do I have another contract for next year? The Yankees have won it. Coming up next, it is Sports Center. Here in Minneapolis, a tough ending to the season, but still a great year for the Twins. For David Justice, Jeff Brantley, Dave Ryan, all of our crew, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for being with us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Yankees win. They will play some more this year, and the old men will pitch again. Sports Center next.